Let's go. Let's go. Positive energy. Let's go. I'm so fired up to be here with you guys tonight. Jacoby Matthews. Are you kidding me? I did not expect that to happen. I did not in 1,000 years expect what happened on Friday to happen. It made me so excited because he was my number one player left for LSU to go get. And it just shocked me because he was seriously considering so many different schools. I was told to be on your P's and Q's with Jacoby Matthews, and he decides to commit the way he committed. And it was just like, boom. And as many of you know, I needed a positive jolt of news, and that couldn't have been any better news based on what a lot of us, what a lot of you know by now. And look, our dear beloved Boog decided to go to puppy heaven, and we have so many Boog stories to share a little bit later. I know you guys are here for LSU football. And here's the funny thing about Boog, okay? She hated the attention being on her. That's why, we only kept her on the camera for like 2 or 3 minutes at a time. And you guys would get all that positive Boog love energy. So as many of you know, our live stream on Tuesday when Boog had her health scare, I cried a bunch. I'm going to try my best not to cry tonight because Boog wants us to be happy. And with our Boog video we had a little bit earlier today, a lot of you have shared your dog stories, and it's really, really, really been a positive influence on me. It's been a positive influence on Haley. And I want to share this, and we'll get right back into LSU football. Boog is our dog. It's all of our dog. It's PHL's dog. PHL's dog. And it's my dog. But most notably, it's Haley's dog. And Boog was with her for 14 years and has always been there for me. She was my first ever dog. And she changed my life. She saved my life. I was so sad until I met Haley and until I met Booger. And unless you have a dog, you can't really relate. And I want to clarify the sequence of events that happened. So Tuesday, the Boog health scare happened right before the live stream. Lucky enough, she was able to kick back out of her seizure or her syncope. And she came right on the live stream. And it was just, within the next 48 hours, she passed. And it was just time. She was ready to cross over. She was ready to go home and be with all her puppy friends. And she was just ready. And you guys know how this is. You guys know how cruel it is that dogs don't get to live as long as we would like to. But that's not our choice. And Boog is not going to want us to be sad tonight. So I appreciate all the support. Now, back to LSU football. And I want you to really think about how big of a deal the Jacoby Matthews thing is. All right. I understand a lot of you have your Boog stories, and we're going to get to them a little bit later. But I want you to think about how different last year was compared to this year. And sometimes we tend to forget one of the most valuable assets you have in life is time. It's time. Time is the most valuable asset. It's not money. It's not even your health, really, to a certain extent, is not as valuable as how you manage your time. All right. And this is what I feel about Jacoby Matthews committing to LSU, is that him committing now is huge for LSU's time. Okay. And time spent on recruiting doesn't have to be as much as it normally would be. Think about the 5 stars in last year's class, okay? Think about the 5-star Louisiana prospects LSU was after. Obviously, the in-state guys were who? Sage Ryan and Mason Smith. And we really had to wait basically until really late in the process to figure out who's going to actually commit to LSU. We had to wait to see if Sage Ryan or Mason Smith were actually going to commit. Now, we all felt in our heart of hearts it was going to happen. I know a lot of you thought Sage Ryan, including myself, was going to end up going to Alabama. Right. Thank you so much for your super chat. Let's see. Yeah, Kenneth, unfortunately, yeah. I'm sorry you're just hearing the news, Kenneth. But we'll get back. We'll get back to Boog in just a second. But I want you to keep this in mind. All right. For LSU to not have to worry about that, to lock up the 3 best players in the state, it's a lot different than Sage Ryan and Mason Smith, where it's always in the back of your mind. You don't have any socks, baby? Oh. Well, just go barefoot. We're getting po' boys tonight. Oh, thank you so much, V-Law. We appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate that. But what I want you to do is understand now that LSU now has all this time to focus on other things, such as recruiting some other state 5 stars, or maybe they don't have to focus. They don't have to focus as much on recruiting at all. Now that most of the class, especially the guys that you really needed to get in your own state, has committed. Okay? Think about this way, all right? Think about all these guys that LSU is after, whether it be Walter Nolan, whether it be Shamar Stewart or whoever. Understand this. You now know how many slots you have to fill. And one thing that's going to be a more valuable asset in recruiting over the next couple of years is time. How quickly do the recruits commit? Now, Bruce makes the point that I've made in the last 2 videos, okay? The biggest reason why you have to get these guys committed as soon as you possibly can, and there's a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason is now you know how many slots you need to save to get player X or player Y or player Z. Because now you need to open up a ton of slots for transfers. Because what you have to understand about player mobility, and this is just the truth, players are going to be more mobile, not less mobile. Players are going to want to move more instead of move less. So there's going to be more and more great players in the transfer portal from this point on. It's going to turn into the wild, wild west. Now, to what extent, we don't know.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Ben. She's going to go pick up po' boys. Po' boys. Let me turn this. So now we have more time, okay? You have more time to know who you're going to go after. And you have more time to know how to manage your slots. So exactly what Kale says. Do you think players will make super teams? Well, they already do. Recruiting is already like that. Okay, so like, for instance, now that Walker Howard and Will Campbell and Jacoby Matthews are already committed, they're going to try and make super teams. And this has always been the case. They're going to try and recruit the other great players to come back to LSU. So it's interesting. You can now determine who exactly you want in the portal. And now when you get the 5 stars that you want to actually commit, it now doesn't force you to offer more guys that you wouldn't have offered in the first place. So a good example of this, all right? And this is crazy. I found Brian Thomas Jr.'s recruitment to be very fascinating. because LSU had to wait so long for his commitment. And look, I'm all for players waiting as long as they have to make their decision. But the thing is, it kind of put LSU at a bind because obviously you really want Brian Thomas Jr. He's a top 100 receiver. He's 6'4". He adds so much to your team, but you have to wait so long for his commitment that it took up one of your final 3 slots. And LSU only had 3 slots remaining at the time, or 4 slots. I don't remember. And then they used another slot on Mike Jones. And then the next thing you know, you use another slot, and you're only down to 1 slot where we are now. And notice what's happened. An all-SEC, NFL-ready wide receiver enters a portal in Mike Woods. That's why we did that video earlier this week. So now if you're LSU, you can't go after Mike Woods because, well, there's other bigger needs on your team, right? Or maybe you do go after Mike Woods because he can help your team out now. So it's very important to keep this in mind that this next recruiting cycle, it's this next one, is going to be a huge change. And the fact that LSU has gotten a lot of really good players to commit, and I think it's 4-ish, 5, it depends on what recruiting rankings you use, top 100 players: Jake Johnson, Jacoby Matthews, Walker Howard, and Will Campbell. And hopefully, Chaz Preston. So Justin asked a question about Chaz Preston. Let's see. Rai, it is your super chat. V-Law, it is your super chat. Josh, it is your super chat. You guys, of course, get to determine what we talk about. Cuban Pan, good to have you back. Mike Woods committed to Oklahoma. I've been away from my phone today for obvious reasons. So all the power to him. Still, you have 1 slot remaining, and we'll see what happens there. And Bruce makes another good point. Mason Smith. And I apologize about the Mike Woods thing. I really did shut my phone off for a little bit after we recorded the video. So, Mason Smith. Obviously, there's Mason Smith, the defensive tackle. And then there is Mason Smith, the recruiter that LSU hired from Mississippi State. Now, Mason Smith, just a little background with them. He used to be with the Louisiana Bootleggers, which is a 7-on-7 team. And if you don't know what 7-on-7 is, feel free to ask a question because I don't want to lose anyone here. But Mason Smith used to be with that organization, which has produced a lot of great LSU players. So like guys like Derek Stingley, and it's these off-season 7-on-7 tournaments that, players play in. And now, LSU's got a few bootlegger commitments already in this class, most notably Jacoby Matthews and LaTerrence Welch. And a lot of you are pointing this out. Jacoby Matthews committed to LSU because of Mason Smith, and it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense, the timing of it. And look, I'm not as behind the scenes as other people, but the timing pretty much proves Justin to be right. DC, I thank you for the kind words. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully Chaz Preston follows, top 100 receiver. I'm doing a research project on the history of LSU football wide receivers. And it's very interesting. He said it himself. Perfect. I know he said quite a few things why he committed to LSU, Ed Orgeron, all those great things. Now, I do want to bring this up really quickly, though, about Chaz Preston. That's, it's a fascinating. Let's go to Rai Super Chat real quick. My question is, and I apologize if you already spoke on this, are there any linemen in the portal that could help us this year? I honestly don't know. I get a little lost looking at the transfer portal, and it's tough to really break down other offensive linemen. It's a little bit easier to break down other teams' quarterbacks and wide receivers because it's just easier. You see highlights all the time, but to watch each individual lineman, it's kind of tough. I know that there was a guy in the portal from Florida and then a guy in the portal from West Virginia on the offensive line. I might be wrong on that. But the hard thing about it, though, Rai, is what makes recruiting offensive linemen difficult is that so much of that position is how well you work with the guys that are already on your team. So it's so much harder to find offensive linemen that are ready to play right now because so much of the position is communication and how you communicate with the other offensive linemen. So for me, I would like LSU to go after another offensive lineman in the portal. As you'll see on tomorrow night's film study, I am concerned about that position. So we'll see what happens. Wilson brings up that safety from Rummel, who went to Vanderbilt, because obviously Ed Orgeron has continued to say that he needs more safety help. He said that he was going after a safety to add more depth to that position at LSU. You know, here's my thing on the safety and the portal thing. Obviously, you only have one slot left. And at this point, you kind of just need to get a guy that you know can play. I don't know. I'm going to throw this out to you guys. How many of you think, and I want you to be honest, how many of you think we need another safety in the portal? Like, do you feel comfortable enough right now with Jay Ward, Todd Harris, Jordan Tolles, Derek Davis Jr., Sage Ryan, Matthew Langlois, Cam Lewis, and so on and so on? And if you don't feel confident in that right now, then maybe we do need to get a safety in the portal. Because here's the thing for me. I know some of you brought up a concern about Jay Ward's weight. You know, the most important thing a safety does is not tackle in the running game. The most important thing a safety needs to do is not get beat deep. Okay. And that was something that happened continuously with the Mohampton, Jacoby Stevens safety duo. So that's the first thing that needs to get fixed. Put this on. Let's see. Label. There we go. There we go. And that needs to go to, let me make sure I'm doing this right. I'm looking at, good. O-line. You know, we do need offensive linemen. I am very concerned about the LSU offensive line. And it's not so much the first unit. The first unit, you know, they have their issues. But I was a little shocked, especially in the second half, the second unit offensive line. And I was just shocked at the communication breakdowns. And I know they were going up against Jaquelin Roy, and Jaquelin Roy is an amazing talent. But Jaquelin Roy looked like Warren Sapp. And while Jaquelin Roy could be Warren Sapp one day, he's got a really good skill set. I just don't know if that is actually a positive sign that our second team offensive line is not where it needs to be. And it kind of adds to what I've said in the past, where I was like, okay, our first team offensive line is really struggling. So why don't we play backups? And I think last season that unit struggled so much that we should have played more backups. But now knowing what I watched last Saturday, I'm like, maybe Ed Orgeron and James Craig knows more about that position than me from afar, because I'm not at practice. I was more so saying what I said last year about the offensive line, because we started to struggle so much. I can only take so many more Texas A&Ms. And a lot of you remember the Texas A&M game. We just could not block a soul. It was impossible to get anything going. And Zachary brings up a good point. Why don't we just save the slot for the next class, especially considering this 2022 class is so freaking good up to this point. Number 3 nationally, only behind Ohio State, who's got the number 1 overall guy, and only behind Georgia, who's got an amazing class. Heck, their top-ranked player is named Bear, for goodness sakes. That's pretty good company. And it's to the point now where you might consider saving that spot for next season. But here's the thing. I am a go for it type of guy. If you think your team is ready to make a run for a national championship next season, I would use that slot. I would use that slot and just take a chance on somebody if they wanted to come and if there was mutual interest, of course. Willie Allen, OT from La Tech. That would be an excellent full circle moment. So for those that don't know, Willie Allen came in, what class was it, Bruce? 2016. He was in the same class as Donovan Campbell. So he transfers from LSU to Louisiana Tech, then Louisiana Tech to Michigan. So Bruce is bringing up, I don't know, this is the first I've thought about Willie Allen in years. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Julian Armella? I couldn't tell you, Jess. I'll be honest. This is the first I've heard of him. If he's an offensive lineman, let's go get him. I still think Emory Jones is the number one offensive lineman that you need to keep an eye out for, because we've seen in years past, LSU has really struggled to get the top 100 offensive linemen from out of state. And, you know, Austin Deculus was a top 100 offensive lineman from out of state. And of course, he won us a national championship at right tackle. But yeah, you know, we haven't gotten a guy quite like him from out of state in quite some time. Corey, thank you for your super chat. Corey, your comments are always so positive and so supportive. I really appreciate that. Michael dropping a 50 spot. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. First off, and Corey, of course, get your question in and we'll get to it. Let's go to Michael with the huge super chat here. It really does mean a lot. Michael, you are treating us to Bo Boys tonight. That's what Haley and I are getting tonight. So I appreciate you. First off, so sorry for your loss. Yeah, once again, I know as more of you trickle in, you're saying sorry for your loss. That means a lot that you guys, you know, care for me and Haley personally, because we're all here for LSU football. You're all here to hear what I have to say about LSU football. But the fact that you care about me personally does mean a lot. And I know that sounds like cushy, wishy, meh, meh. But I promised Haley and I promised Boog before this live chat that I was not going to cry. And I promise you, I will put my hand on the good book. Booger hated when I cried, hated when I would get sad, hated when I would get angry at myself. Early on in this channel, Boog would always comfort me when I was trying to just get things going and trying to get to 1,000 subs and trying to get this thing to snowball. And Boog would always just sit right next to me and say, just keep going. And I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate all you guys commenting. And a little bit later in the live chat, we're going to share some of your comments on dog stories. And I'm going to share some of it. Debbie shared a crazy dog story. So we're going to go to that a little bit later. So let's go to Michael's comment. And once again, Corey, whatever question you want to throw or any topic you want to talk about, we'll get to it. Second, who do you think will have the biggest impact of the non-early enrollees? So I'm going Jones at linebacker, but would love to hear your thoughts. Okay. Oh, he decommitted for Michigan yesterday. Once again, my phone I've been in and out. So I posted the video a little bit earlier. I haven't been on top of things as much. We're still moving and obviously still grieving. But yeah, thank you guys. I really do appreciate that. The last bit of news that I really took in was the Jacoby Matthews committing to LSU. I'm still on cloud nine about this because of how important he is to this whole process. Okay, so I'm going to throw Michael's. I'm going to throw Michael's question out to you guys. Who do you think of the non-early enrollees will have the biggest impact in year one? I know, Bruce, you have some strong opinions on the running backs, Armani Goodwin and Corey Kiner. So go on ahead, guys. I need every single one of you to comment who is your number one true freshman that could help in year one. So Zach, of course, is going to say Sage Ryan. That's probably going to be our most popular pick. You know what's interesting? And I'll get to Sage Ryan. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier. Nick says Corey Kiner. Okay. I got to show some love to Corey Kiner. I just love this kid. I really do. Mr. Ohio, he wore number 22. He looks just like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I know everyone's made that comparison, but he looks just like him. Johnny says Demarius McGee, very interesting. Where would he play? I guess he would have to play special teams or nickel. But I'm glad you mentioned Demarius McGee. We never talk about him. And, Sage could go. Not Sage. Derek Stingley Jr. could be gone after next season. Well, he will be gone after next season to the NFL. Justin says Armani Goodwin. Kale says Matthew Langlois on special teams. I think so too. Nebraska says Chris Hilton. I'm all in on Chris Hilton. Elite speed, top 100 receiver. I'd love to see Corey Kiner too. Okay, V-Law says, and V-Law, thank you for your super chat. A little bit earlier, Mason Smith, he's not an early enrollee, but still, he's going to play a lot. And obviously, his health is going to be huge. I will say this about Mason Smith really quickly, and I'll give you my number one guy in just a second. Mason Smith had the injury, but, going back at second glance. So at first I thought Joseph Evans did not have a great spring game, but going back, I was watching, he was pretty decent. I thought Neil Farrell played really well in the spring game. There was one play in the second half, and you'll see it tomorrow. Neil Farrell really barreled down Ed Ingram, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Neil Farrell looks trimmer. He looks ready to go. And that's what happens when a young buck comes in and like Mason Smith and is pushing you. Justin mentions Jack Besh. It's funny. And this is, I know we all have our own personal evaluations. Jack Besh to me is the best receiver in this LSU recruiting class from my own viewpoint. There's a lot of things I like about Jack Besh. The first thing is the offense at St. Thomas More is going to be very similar to the offense that LSU is going to run. So St. Thomas More ran a lot of 5 wide receiver sets. So that's something obviously LSU is going to do a lot of. You saw that in the spring, even though their offensive line can't really protect it. So Jack Besh is a very interesting guy. Obviously his numbers are just ridiculous. But yeah, we'll see how he fits in. Do I think he's special? Yeah, I think he's really good. So yeah, I know we all have our own personal favorite wide receiver. I know a lot of you are big Deion Smith fans. So yeah, I need to do a video on that. Michael, okay. So my answer, of course, is Sage Ryan, simply because number one, he's going to play special teams or he's going to play defense. He's going to be doing something. I want to say Sage Ryan, but hear me out on this. This is what concerns me just a little bit about Sage Ryan. Number one, he is coming off a season, and we just hit 100 viewers. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. So hit the thumbs up button. So by far, Sage Ryan is, the best is the best player to me coming into, the second part of the season. The thing that interests me is obviously, he had the injury at the end of his high school career. So LCA went on to the state championship game, and Sage Ryan did not play in those final few games. But what I would say on top of that is, number two is I'm a little concerned because Sage Ryan, there was a real push for him to go to Alabama. And one thing that we don't think about a lot is, Trey, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that, Trey. Thank you. Let's go. Trey sent me a Venmo. I appreciate that. And Trey, whatever topic you want to bring up, I will get to it right after Michael's. But here's something. I'm listening to a podcast series on Freddie Adu, the soccer sensation. And a lot of you know me personally. I'm a huge soccer guy. And Freddie Adu, what made him so fascinating is that he didn't get to live the life that a normal kid got to live. And he was pressured to do so many different things. Now, what's interesting about Sage Ryan is that there was some real heavy steam heading towards Alabama, to the point where really reputable LSU guys started crystal balling him to Alabama. I think Sage Ryan wants to be at LSU because, to me, there is nothing better than being a 5-star player in your home state. Your family has players who played for LSU and they were incredible. There is nothing better than playing for LSU, but that's how I feel personally. What concerns me, and this isn't just Sage Ryan, this concerns me about everyone. I want everyone to do what they feel like they want to do, not what everyone else feels like you should do. Now, that's not me saying Sage Ryan doesn't want to be at LSU. That's not my point. But I bring this up all the time. Being around college football players, especially at the Division I level, they told me, and I remember one vividly, who was an out-of-state player at LSU. He told me, Carter, I'm not happy here. I'm not happy here. I wanted to go to Alabama, but I'm not happy here. And he never played for LSU. He never played for LSU. Never really played at all. He transferred somewhere else, and he said, I just wasn't happy. And to me, I just want everyone to go where they want to go. Obviously, I'm biased. Obviously, all of us want to go to LSU. But I was thinking about that earlier with Sage, because he was under so much pressure. And I don't envy a player like him, who was really, that's just so tough to do at 17 years of age, which is part of the reason why I led this live stream talking about Jacoby Matthews and Walker Howard and Will Campbell, because the pressure of a 5-star player to go to LSU is a pressure that other high school 5-stars don't have to deal with. If you're a 5-star prospect in Florida, well, it wouldn't make sense to go to Florida or Miami or Florida State. If you're a 5-star prospect in Texas, you can go to any of the Texas schools. It also would make sense if you go to an out-of-state school. But there's so much pressure that I sometimes feel that it's unfair to the kids themselves. So that's why I'm really excited, because now with Jacoby and Will and Walker, they have that. Their minds are clear. They're like, okay. And obviously they could change their minds, but it puts them more at ease. And there's not as many people that are nagging you to say, oh, are you going to LSU? You better go to LSU. You're letting everybody down if you don't go to LSU. Yeah, Trey, what's good? So, Michael, I will say Sage Ryan. I will say Sage Ryan. I also think Armani Goodwin and Corey Kiner will have their opportunities. And the reason why is because, number one, it's going to be tough for them to learn the offense and just play right away, especially now running back isn't so much hand the football, get the football and run through the B gap. It's far more complex than that. A lot of you would point this out about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was so good at reading the game and processing information fast. And it's so much different at the college game than it is, obviously, at the high school game. But, none of the LSU running backs now are so good that I would say, oh my goodness, John Emery is going to push for a Heisman, or TDP is I put it this way, and I put it this way, I think, in a live stream about a month ago. TDP needs to, at the very least, be Nicholas Brissett good. And Nicholas Brissett was really good, but he wasn't, special. He wasn't Jeremy Hill. He wasn't Leonard Fournette. And Jonathan, I know you pointed out Leonard Fournette a little bit earlier. So it is a very fascinating thing, because if either of those running backs are better than anyone in the stable, you got to play them. So Armani Goodwin and Corey Kiner are in a very fascinating situation, because there's so many guys ahead of them. Josh Williams is already there. Kavontre Bradford is already there. You also have, obviously, TDP and Emery. So we'll see what happens. Tyler says Brissett was the most overrated LSU player. Dude was not good at all. I mean, he was good. That's my point. is we don't need the running backs to be like just you can win without your running backs being Clyde good. But my point was Nicholas Brissett was very good, but he wasn't great per se. John Emery did not play in the spring game because of his separated shoulder. Yeah, Najee Harris interview. I mean, it's hard to not like Najee Harris. He seems like a really funny guy. We welcome in Kane. What's good? The film study tomorrow night. It's going to be great, guys. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central. Jack Besh got overlooked in recruiting. I agree. And Goodwin. Wilson, you're a big Armani Goodwin guy. I like that. Zachary, that's a good question on Landon Jackson. He looks big. You saw him on the sideline. Dude is huge. He's a defensive end who early enrolled but didn't play. Okay, he didn't scrimmage because, he's overcoming an injury. The one thing I hate about that is, if you early enroll and can't play and you're missing prom and all those different things, I hate that for a high schooler as well. Now, how much does Landon Jackson actually miss those things? I don't know. I don't know him personally. I know he liked one of my tweets one time, but still, I think Landon Jackson could be very good. I also think you need to also be fair to Landon Jackson and open-minded to Landon Jackson, because I think he could play some 3 technique. I think he could be a very athletic defensive tackle. And remember this, people don't run between the tackles anymore. They just don't. So you need explosive playmakers at that position. Now, obviously, that position is very crowded, and you don't really need that much help there. But one thing I would like LSU to do, and Zach, that's a great question with that. And Johnny, Johnny, I appreciate all your support, man. All your Venmos over the past few months have been really supportive. This is going to be very fascinating, okay? I really, 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 really hope that Durante Jones and Andre Carter doesn't 3 down their defensive linemen. And what I mean by that is on 1st and 2nd down, if you stop them and it's 3rd and long, bring in a fresh 4 guys or at least a fresh 3 guys. That's something Dave Aranda did a really good job of, and he made that adjustment towards the end of the season when the LSU defense started playing better. We started having better pass rush. What's up, Sports Edits? All right, Trey. Let's see. Once again, Trey, thank you for the Venmo and Cash App. So 3 tech and 4 tech. It's kind of hard to explain without drawing it up on a board. So the way it works is a nose tackle. So Tyler Shelvin, for instance, he is a 0 tech. That meant that Tyler Shelvin, more often than not, lined up straight head up on the center. And the way it goes, and it's numbered differently for different people, okay? There's 2 different numerical systems as far as the defensive line is concerned. I'm going to go with the one that I played in, okay? So I played in a 4-3, but the way it worked was a 0 technique was straight head up on the center, and a shade technique is slightly to the left of the center or slightly to the right of the center, okay? And then the way it worked was a 1 technique is the inside shoulder of a guard. A 2 technique is straight head up on the guard, and a 3 technique is the outside shoulder of the guard. So in a 4-3, you have one technique who is the inside shoulder of one of the guards, and on the opposite side, you have a defensive tackle and a 3 technique in the B gap on the outside shoulder of an offensive guard. So famous LSU 3 techniques include Chad Lavallee and Glenn Dorsey, obviously the best 3 technique ever at LSU. And that that was Warren Sapp's position as well. Now, a lot of 3 techs also play 1 tech. That's what those numbers mean. So, whatever you hear, well, this guy, we need a 5 technique and a 3-4. That's what Rashard Lawrence played. He played a 4-eye and a 5 technique. He lined up over the tackle and sometimes over the guard. And I know this is kind of boring for a lot of you, and the numbers change. Okay. So some people also do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they just go straight across. Different people do different things. So that's what that is. I know I lost a few viewers talking about that boring stuff, and I just gained them right back. So there you go, Trey. That's what it means. It's not. It's important, yet it doesn't. The most important. Oh my goodness. Paris drops a velvet taco. Paris, thank you so much. Your super chat is great. I think me and Haley are going on a road trip soon just to get out. And I think we're actually going to go to Dallas and get some velvet taco. And now that you mention that, Paris, our next velvet taco meal is in honor of you, Paris, because we've talked about velvet taco, my favorite restaurant in Dallas. I know they're also in Atlanta, apparently. Desmond, let me check if I know I got I don't know why let me go check Cash Apps. Let me see. Let me see, Desmond. I don't know why. I didn't get it, Desmond. Let me see. I'll refresh it. Thank you. Thank you, Desmond. No, I didn't. Like I said, I have been away from my phone today. For obvious reasons. I just wanted to decompress before we did the live stream tonight and when we did the video tonight. So Desmond, please enlighten me, or anyone enlighten me on what Cardell Thomas, what Mike Detillier said about Cardell Thomas today. So Paris, you didn't miss a whole lot. We obviously had a Booger tribute a little bit earlier. We were talking about Sage Ryan, potentially a Michael with his super chat. We all agreed that Sage Ryan is the most likely non-early enrollee, and that was actually something you super chatted in a live stream not too long ago. We also talked about Jacoby Matthews, and I saw someone mention Kamari Wilson, who is a 5-star safety out of IMG Academy. And look, I would really like Kamari Wilson to be a part of this class, but I also have a piece of me that I wish Jordan Allen is in this class. I just love 3-star safeties. I just love guys like him that play with the mean streak. And I don't want Jordan Allen to go to a different SEC school. And he's played at LCA with Sage Ryan, and he's best friends with LaTerrence Welsh. But obviously, if you get Kamari Wilson, your safety class is kind of locked up. So we'll see. Who is Donovan Kaufman off the top of my head, Corey? Let me know, Desmond. Please, Desmond, I got your Cash App. Please let me know what Mike Detillier, one of the brightest Louisiana football minds there are. What did he say about Cardell? If anyone could give me the Cliff Notes version of that. Yeah, Nick, you're the one that said Kamari Wilson. It's interesting, though, because, God, that would be crazy if LSU had a better safety haul in 2022 than they did in 2021. And it's crazy also. Okay. The safety from New Orleans, who is at Vanderbilt, getting the 5-hour ready. I'm fired up tonight, guys. I'm fired up. Zachary T-Bob has a man crush on Anthony Bradford. Can I say something really quickly about the Anthony Bradford thing? I hope he starts. I really do. I like Jason Hines personally. He puts in the work. He had a great interview with the media a few weeks ago. He's a great Tiger, puts in the work, off the field. But let's see. Daryl, thank you. The Hill Country. I appreciate that. It's funny because I think about the offensive line, and I think about what I saw last year with Chase and Hines, and I think, what's happened. You go back to the 2019 LSU team. All right, so the thing is in 2018, Chase and Hines actually played a decent amount, and he was actually really good. He played left guard, and he mowed some people down. Like, he had one block against Louisiana Tech that blew me the freak away. And he was really good. Maybe Chase and Hines at left guard would be a change of scenery. Maybe that'd be something better for him. What's up, Burgess? What's up, Durrell? And what's fascinating was Chase and Hines didn't really play that much in 2019. So to me, you got to ask yourself this question. What changed between 2018 and 2021, or 2018 and 2020, where Chase and Hines had so much experience? Well, it's simple. The way you play offensive line changes when your offense changes. So what's fascinating and what makes the 2019 team so great is that the year before, LSU led the SEC in rushing attempts per game. They averaged 43 rushes per game. And then the very next season, LSU played in 2019, even with all the plays that they would run on offense, LSU only averaged 34 rushes per game. And those rushes are kind of misleading in 2019 because Joe Burrow ran a lot. He scrambled quite a bit, especially against the tougher teams. So the 2019 LSU offensive line had to become a different unit. They went from a run blocking unit where it's double team the guy in front of you and get to the next level to block the linebacker. That's the most complicated thing you would have to do. Whereas in 2019, it's a completely different thing. So Chase and Hines didn't get much playing time in 2019. Then 2020 rolled around, and he's playing an offensive line position that is radically different than when he played it in 2018, where the most important trait you can have as an offensive lineman in the modern era is not strength and it's not speed. It's how well do you pick up blitzes, twists, and stunts. Okay? That was a big thing in our live stream study last week, is that we were showing how stunts, they work for the LSU defense, but the LSU offensive line can't block them. They don't know how to block a delayed blitz. They don't know how to block A-gaps. We did a whole film study on one play for Mississippi State on this very thing. And that was obviously something Chase and Hines struggled with. And then what happened is he started to second guess himself, and then his run blocking started to deteriorate as the season went on. So, I think LSU needs something better there, and Anthony Bradford could be it. Maybe Chase and Hines takes that step forward that we all thought he was going to take, because you pop in some of the things he did in 2018, dude, he mowed some people down. He was really impressive. And he didn't play a whole lot in 2018 either, but still. I hope so, Burgess. I hope so. Gift says Denver Harris. Leonard coming in with jokes. Let's see. Okay, so Desmond brings up a super Thomas about Cardell. Brings up a super chat about Cardell Thomas. Paris, it is still your super chat as well. I hope you asked for us to update you on the chat, and basically did that. So Paris, if you have another question, we'll go right to you. And I do want to bring up Desmond's question here. And thank you so much for the cash app, Desmond. That's so huge. Cardell Thomas. So, look, we did a long video on him a few weeks ago. It's still crazy to think about. All right. So, I have this YouTube account, and, it's been very fun, and I'm very lucky to have grown, this audience. What's fascinating about this YouTube account is I looked at my analytics, and this is going to tie in with Cardell Thomas, I promise you. Okay, I want you off the top of your head, all the videos that I've produced, all the live streams, all those things. If you were to guess my lifetime amount of views I've had on this channel, I want you to guess right now in the live chat. Right now in the live chat, guess how many lifetime views I've had on this channel. We're talking views. And I think I'm up to 250-ish videos. I think that we're so, and that includes live chats. Let's see. I just want you to guess, okay? Because this this number may shock you, okay? Darian says 200K. Tyler says 500K. KJ, that's a good question, and I'll answer for you right now. Eric says a gazillion. Emmanuel says 4 million. Chuck B says 1.25 million. One thing I'm kind of scared is that since Boog had so many fans, I don't want you guys to go. Boog was always the best part of the live streams. Let's see, 101K, 350K, 700K, 1.25 million, and Debbie says 300K. So I looked, and it's 711,000 lifetime views, which seems like a lot, right? It seems like a lot. But if you compare it to Cardell Thomas, this dude in high school, by my tally, by just Googling his name or just YouTube searching his name, he had 5 different videos that crossed over just 1 million. And he had multiple videos over 3 million. And that is absurd. That is so hard to do. Now, think about how hard we all work to make this channel what it is. 711,000 views. I'm still many miles away from getting to 1 million views, okay? Cardell Thomas hit that tenfold. And that was before he ever played a meaningful down of football at the Division I level. Now, I want you off the top of your head to guess how many offensive linemen in prep football who has ever existed that had multiple videos of 1 million views or more. And the answer to that is it doesn't exist. What Cardell Thomas did was unicorn stuff, how his star rose. You think about some of the most viral blocks. Most of them are made. Quentin Nelson for the Colts has quite a few of them, but they've not touched Cardell Thomas's numbers. The dude was a prodigy. And I want to bring this back up again. Kane referenced this earlier. I'm listening to the Freddie Adu podcast, and he was, a soccer star at 14 years of age, 14, carrying an entire Major League Soccer league of 10 teams. He was carrying the league at 14. It was unprecedented. And sometimes when people do unprecedented things, when you're the first and you're the prodigy and you're the viral sensation, the pressure is just too much. And that's why I sympathize with Cardell Thomas, because I wouldn't be getting super chats asking questions about any other offensive lineman that was a 4-star who has never played. It's hard to just name 4-star offensive linemen, period. So, that's just something to keep in mind. How hard I work. I am nowhere close to one of Cardell Thomas's videos. Now, what's crazy is you go look at some of these other massive YouTubers. You look at, and these are different genre YouTubers that Haley watches and I watches, whether it be Potato Jet or whether it be Peter Mon or whoever. And you go look at their most viewed videos. And these are guys that make 6-figure salaries on YouTube. 6-figure salaries. They've never had a video touch 1 million. 1 million views is really hard to do. Now, this is a free-flowing live stream tonight. I personally had a video. I actually had 2 videos go over 1 million views, and I'll share those stories. It's on a different channel. How that happened, I actually didn't know it happened at first. I was so stupid when it happened. One day I'll share those stories. Burgess, that's a good question about Micah Baskerville. Let's go to Paris here. The defensive line. Kane. Okay, let's go to this. This is interesting. Okay. Ironically, Southern is reportedly interested in Mickey Joseph as their head ball coach. He's not irreplaceable, but how hireable is he given his alleged involvement in the Drake Davis assault cases? So, first thing is, let's talk about Mickey Joseph and this. So, once again, I've been away from my phone. I did not know Southern got rid of Dawson Odoms. I didn't. Or if Dawson Odoms, I'd have to Google that. Let's see. Dawson Odoms. Dawson Odoms goes to Norfolk State. So congrats to Dawson Odoms. I knew him when I still lived in Baton Rouge. So, yeah, there's a huge opening. And Mickey Joseph fits in just well. He's obviously an elite recruiter. You've seen what he's done as a wide receivers coach and all the NFL guys he's produced. He's a name. And he also, when he played football, he was a quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. So he knows the game. And I wouldn't be shocked if he knew how to call plays, even though he's not had much coordinator experience. It's a good fit. It's obviously not a big move for him. He's able to stay in Baton Rouge. But the first question, Kane Super Chats here, how replaceable is Mickey Joseph? And the answer to that is complex, because obviously, the 2019 team had Joe Brady as a passing game coordinator, and he was also the receivers coach. The same thing's kind of true now with DJ Mangus. So Mickey Joseph obviously is really good, but this is the honest truth about LSU football coaches. LSU's won national championships with 3 different head coaches. They've won national championships with different position coaches. Okay. You go pre Mickey Joseph, you go to Larry Porter, who, ironically was on Auburn staff for a long time. He was a great receivers coach at LSU. There's been a lot of position coaches that have come and gone from LSU. So obviously Mickey Joseph is a guy you want to keep on your staff. But, if he were to go to Southern, LSU would keep churning, and I would wish Mickey Joseph the best. Now, his involvement with the Drake Davis case, I'd have to go reread all that stuff again. But apparently, the smoking gun on Mickey Joseph is not quite the same as it is some other people that were involved with the Drake Davis assault. I don't know if that would be enough for him to not get a head coaching job unless there was more incriminating evidence that came out against him. Hopefully that answered your question, Kane. I would actually be happy for Mickey Joseph that he got that opportunity to go be a head coach at an iconic university like Southern. Obviously, I want the Jags to do well. I have a lot of friends that, went to the school and graduated. So we'll see. Porter was an RB coach. Well, I apologize. Who was a wide receivers coach then? Who was the receivers coach? Yeah, Larry Porter was no, I thought Frank Wilson was the running backs coach. No, I'd have to go back. I'm sorry. It's been a rough week. So thank you, Burgess, for that correction. Aeneas Williams would be great for Southern football. Yeah. That would kind of go along with what we've seen, right? Hiring the celebrity coach to coach wherever. We just saw Eddie George get hired. And I'm a huge Eddie George fan. And obviously, Deion at Jackson State, to say that wasn't a success is, you're lying. Deion put Jackson State on the map. So, yeah, I think Aeneas Williams, because he played at Southern, that would be very interesting. Does Aeneas Williams want to be a coach? He had a very successful career in cars, I believe, Aeneas Williams, after he left Southern. So we'll see. Okay, Daryl. I was wondering if you saw that early. It's all good, Daryl. I know you were coming from a good spot. All right, let's go here. Um, let's go back to Paris's question. What I missed. Okay, I think I got to that. Let's go. I did a quick recap. Okay, you wanted to talk about the defensive line pairs. Okay, 2019 linebackers was a strength of the defense, while the D line was a liability. I think this year, this is interesting. The D line will be a strength, while the linebackers will be a liability. Okay, so let me start with this. I think what made the 2019 LSU defensive line different is that their tasks were different than what a defensive lineman in a 4-3 would be. Um, and Zachary, we'll get to that question in a second, but I want to answer Paris's here on the defensive line. This is something I think will be very fascinating. How quickly will Mike Jones and Micah Baskerville, and I know someone mentioned Micah Baskerville a little bit earlier, how quickly will it take for them to get up to speed? And that's going to be a big question, because I think those two are the two best linebackers on the team right now. Now, Bruce, I know you're in here somewhere. You're a huge Josh White fan. How good is Josh White and Antoine Sampa in year two? That's going to be interesting. Then you also have Boog Strong, who we didn't get to see in the spring game. But apparently Boog Strong was the best linebacker in the spring. But the best linebacker in the spring game was Jared Small, who is from Catholic High, is someone that is easy to root for, one of Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's closest friends. But if you were to ask me who the best linebackers would be for LSU next season, I would tell you Micah Baskerville and Mike Jones, who both had interesting reasons as to why they were out of spring. So Mike Jones, even though he signed and he was a transfer, he wasn't available for spring. And Micah Baskerville, mysteriously left for spring. Obviously, it's reported that he focused on academics. So I actually agree with Paris, considering Patrick Queen and Jacob Phillips were such great players. But there was also some games where Patrick Queen and Jacob Phillips had some rough patches. So, I thought the 2019 defensive linemen were decent. It's obviously not the greatest defensive line ever at LSU, but they had some really good players. I think this next year's defensive line, what's going to be interesting is to figure out who your best four are, and then figure out who you want to be in the game in your pass rushing packages. Do you want to do race car or cheetah packages where you have four defensive ends on the field? I am a big believer in rotating your defensive linemen a lot. And what I mean by a lot, I mean rotating them within the series. So first and second down, have, your run stoppers or whatnot in there. And then on second and long and third and long, bring in a different group of guys. Maybe Phillip Webb's in that package. Maybe Damon Clark. Maybe Desmond Little, who Johnny mentioned a little bit earlier. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And yeah, Micah Baskerville, I heard it's academically related. Full disclosure, as far as academic issues are concerned, and I know that's swirling around Eric Gilbert, I don't like to say a player has academic issues, because there could be while it may be true, that's something that's really personal to a player, because look, I don't think I've never shared this, how much you guys realized how much I struggled with schoolwork at LSU. Like, I sucked. I was so bad. I was such a horrible student. I was shocked that I got into the college that I was able to get in. I was able to get into the Manship School of Mass Communication, and I just sucked. I was just a horrible student. I was horrible. all the anthropologies and all these different courses I had to take. I failed Spanish 3 times. Dude, guys, I was so bad. I was so bad. I was such a bad student. So, I sympathize because I had academic issues in college. So, some of that is because some players just have academic issues, and other parts of it, and this was a case for me, is some people just don't like schoolwork. They don't get the point of it. They can get lazy around it. So, as far as I just get uncomfortable talking about, academic or really, any type of off the field issues. Did White play the linebacker position in the spring game? Yeah, he had some decent points. Paris, you like Sampa? I like Sampa okay. I thought the interception was nice, even though the ball was thrown straight at him. So, yeah. Oh, V-Law. I took a drink right when you did it, even though this is a Sonic regular limeade. There's nothing in it. Any news on the Eric Gilbert front? So, no. I would like V-Law a clarification on if Eric Gilbert were to come back. Number one, would he be able to play next season? And the answer to that is maybe. I don't know. I know that there's some hurdles academically and maybe some other things that you'd have to clear. The next thing is, would Eric Gilbert count as a slot in a recruiting class? And I don't know the answer to that. I would guess no. But still, there's a lot of unclear things because this situation was so unprecedented. We say hi to Julian. We say hi to Paris. Spanish, yeah. Paris, you failed Spanish too? Oh, I was so bad at Spanish. I really was. Chuck B said, I passed Calc 1 by 0.35. I could do a whole live stream on just my personal struggles at LSU. I was just a bad student. I just got lazy. I was just so focused on a sports journalism career that I even dropped out of LSU and took an internship at SiriusXM in Washington, D.C. And I had family up there, and I just wanted to do broadcasting. It's all I wanted to do. And when I was at LSU, and quick personal story. When I was at LSU, I immediately joined the TV station the second semester. My freshman season, I just enjoyed LSU. And then my second semester, I learned about Tiger TV. So I joined Tiger TV. And then I joined the radio station, the KLSU radio station. And after that, that's all I wanted to do. I didn't understand why I needed to take anthropology. I didn't understand why I needed to learn Spanish, even though I am inspired by bilingual reporters. I was just too lazy. I didn't think I needed to learn Spanish. And I wish I did. I wish I took it more seriously because, I see, what one of my broadcasting idols was a guy named Pedro Gomez who died not too long ago. And, he was bilingual and he was amazing. So, I struggled. I really struggled. What is Michael Divinity up to? He is selling cars in Baton Rouge. He's doing well. I remember he did an interview on Jordy's channel. So yeah, I hope Michael Divinity is doing well. V-Law says, I don't understand scholarship limits. It's by season or by team total. So you can only have 25 new signees every single season. You can only have 85 total scholarship guys on a team. Now, next season, that's not going to be the case because seniors don't count against your scholarship total if they decided to come back. So Austin Deculus doesn't count. Ed Ingram doesn't count. Neil Farrell and Glenn Logan don't count. So it's amazing. Oh, really, Trey? That's right. You do teach anthropology. I don't mean to count out. And look, Trey, I didn't mean to just say. I was just saying. I don't even know what is anthropology. I forgot. It's the study of. Trey, please let me know. I'm not putting down on anthropology. I just forgot. This has become an anthropology chat. Pedro Gomez was solid. Yeah, he was great. He was one of my favorite reporters. It really hit me hard. Because I just respect guys that are talented. Pedro was so freaking good. Watching him interview guys at the Home Run Derby and in front of millions of people watching and people in the crowd to translate and ask questions, go back and forth between English and Spanish. It's wild. It's wild how his mind can process all those conjugations and stuff like that. So rest in peace to good old Pedro Gomez. What a talent. Ooh, Johnny, you went Rotolo's? Oh, man, I love Rotolo's. That's one of my dream sponsors. Now, here's the thing, Johnny. Like, when I go to Rotolo's, I want a calzone. But I tried Rotolo's deep dish pizza. Now, I don't like their regular pizzas so much because their deep dish pizza is unreal. They have like a pepperoni thing where they put ricotta cheese, and it's just amazing. It's better than Chicago deep dish, but I haven't had Chicago deep dish in a while. Study of humans. Okay. Some of y'all are getting drunk tonight anyway. Huh? All right. We're having po' boys tonight. Haley doesn't eat meat. She doesn't eat meat. She's a pescatarian now, which fish is meat, right? But she only eats fish, I think. Josh about to be faded. Mike says that LSU has laid out a plan for Eric to come back. Okay, Desmond, let's go. Might as well. Just forget all the other stuff. No, I'm all about redemption stories and all for Eric Gilbert. Let's do it. If he's ready to go, let's do it. I don't care. But what here's my thing on that. Okay, and I know a lot of you get fatigued with Eric Gilbert stuff. What I would like to point out is I hope the people trying to get Eric Gilbert back, because here's something that I think about. Okay, so I started the live stream tonight talking about Jacoby Matthews' commitment was so important because of time. Because last year the Louisiana 5 stars committed very late in the process, whereas this year, the 3 Louisiana 5 stars committed very early. So it frees up so much time. Now, you still have to recruit guys that are committed, right? You still have to text and check in and all that stuff, but it does make it a lot easier and it frees you up. What's interesting is with the behind-the-scenes operations at LSU, you don't really know, because you would actually have to be there to know this. You don't know how much time each coach or each staffer or each player spends on certain things. And what I mean by that is whenever you recruit a player or you're trying to get a player back, it takes up resources. It takes up time. So in Eric Gilbert's case, it took up all this time for Ed Orgeron to try and re-recruit him. And then when Eric Gilbert opted out, there was the publicity that came along with it. And then everyone was asking, Ed Orgeron, you're losing control of your team. And so you have to, spend more resources with your PR department to overcome that. And then on top of that, he decides to go to Florida, but then you were still trying to re-recruit him back. And now, to get him back, you're having to, with your PR team and then your compliance department and then all these other things, you're trying to get him back and you're using up more time and more resources. So that's the thing. Is Eric Gilbert so good that the production that he could potentially give you outweigh the the amount of time spent on getting him back. So that is something to keep in mind. Let's see, Zachary. I know V-Law, him going to Florida would not be good. Okay, Zach says, hey, Carter, you didn't answer. 2 years, who you got, Walker Howard or Garrett Nussmeier? All right, Zach, I'm gonna put this out there, okay? Because I get a lot of in the future type of things. So if you super chat, Zach, I will answer that question because it is a question I could go on for years answering. I actually think about this question a lot, and I have different opinions on it, especially considering what I saw from Garrett Nussmeier in the spring game. We saw 3 interceptions, but we also saw a lot of other things. Ari Gilbert enrolled in summer classes. That would make a lot of sense. Exactly, Debbie. That and you know, I think if he could have it all back, he would rethink a lot. But you know, it's funny. Garrett Nussmeier threw 3 picks, but some of the throws he made in that game were really good. So Zachary said, hey, Carter, I don't want you to answer. I know already. I just wanted to hear what you had to say. All right, Zachary, I'll answer it. So, look, I'm a huge Walker Howard guy. And if you've watched this channel, you know I've made the prediction that Walker Howard will win a national championship at LSU. I think he's really good. I really think he's special good. And one thing I really like about him is the offense that he runs. Oh, look, I got a super chat here anyway. Huh? Oh, Johnny. So, okay, Johnny super chatted and he said, this super chat is for Tartar. So in case you guys didn't know, Tartar is the other dog that's Haley's mom's dog. And Tartar makes her appearances on live chats occasionally when we're streaming from Haley's parents' house, which is very seldom. But Tartar and Boog were best friends. They were best friends. So I don't think Tartar knows yet because we haven't gone back over there. And, you know, it's kind of hard to, you know, say something to another dog. But I know Tartar's going to be like, where's Boog? Where's Boog? So, Johnny, yeah, I appreciate that. That money will go towards Tartar because I have to keep up with Tartar when Haley's parents go out of town and all that stuff. So, Johnny, thank you so much for the super chat. They shouted out Tartar. You want to say hi to everyone, hey? Haley wants to say, go ahead, Haley.
My face is so red. I have my mask on in Walmart. Hey, everybody.
Get up on the mic.
I don't want to get on the mic.
She just wanted to come say hi. And normally when she's coming in, she's bringing in our bundle of joy. Come on here. Come on.
My face is so red.
So, guys, Haley did want to say, she gets nervous talking on here, but she did want to say thank you for all their support. And Boog's been my dog for 4.5, 5 years now. Boog was with Haley for 14 years. 14 years. And, they went through everything together. Moves.
College in Nashville.
Get up on it.
College in Nashville. We've been putting furniture together, so forgive my appearance. College in Nashville, then back here, then to Dallas for 8 years. And then you came along.
And then I came along. All this live chatting. So Haley wanted to say thank you for all the super chats and all the support. And the best thing is obviously to, keep watching this content because there are some of you that wanted to just see the dog. I'm just being serious. Okay. You just wanted to see Boog. And we've done more than enough crying. Okay. I've not cried. And you guys saw me on Tuesday cry my eyes out. But Boog does not want you to be sad. That is something Haley and I talked about. And we recorded, and like we said in our video earlier, we recorded a full emotional video we do not want you to be sad, because ask Haley this question. When Boog saw us crying, or when she hated it. She would curl up on us and say, guys, calm down. It's okay. Life is, enjoy it. And that's what she always wanted to say. You want to say anything? Oh, hey, don't get, oh, come on. It's okay, baby. It's okay. She gets rid, gonna. It's okay. I'm holding it all in. So you guys saw we filmed the video yesterday from Target, and these cry spells just hit you at random times. I was driving in the middle of traffic, and I just started bawling, just thinking about Boog, and I almost ran a red light. So I'm trying my best to hold it all in and all that stuff. And Haley and Boog would always like to come in and show the love to all you guys. So Trey super chatted tonight. There's Eric. Tartar number 18, Boog forever number 7. Ain't that the truth? Mobility is becoming a must for quarterbacks. Boog was the pride and joy of this channel. Yeah. Boog was a part of PHL, never forgotten. Yeah. And she still is a part of PHL, and she would want us to keep going. And look, I'm as honest as I possibly can about Boog. Her health was bad.
Well, it had really started the past 2 months. We had really started to see a decline in it. And I was prepared. I thought I was. I don't think you can ever prepare. But it was time.
It was time. So,
and I can't thank our vet enough. I can say his name, can I?
No, I
well,
he is an LSU graduate, and as we've mentioned, we do not live in Louisiana.
No.
But he was a graduate of LSU vet school, and he was a lifelong friend of mine as well. And Boog,
went to high school with him.
We went to high
middle school.
Boog was at peace. I want you guys to know that Boog was at peace. She ate her little treats, and it was great. It was serendipitous. It was emotional, and I know this is a lot to process, because you're never going to see Boog just coming right in on the live stream. Hey, bringing her in, and her little LSU collar and all those things. So, obviously, the best thing you can do to keep Boog's spirit alive is to obviously, keep supporting this channel, keep watching and all that stuff, and just be there for Hey. And, at first I was bawling way more than Hey. And it was bad. It was really bad. It was really bad, including what happened on our last live chat on Tuesday. It was really bad. I was really bad.
But I'm glad you got to see her one more time.
And we got to see her one more time. And I'm glad you guys got to see her one more time on the chat, because legit less than an hour before that happened, Boog had epilepsy or syncope. And I'm going to be honest. We're going to be very vulnerable. We thought she was gone then. We thought. And it was a very traumatic experience. I never seen anything like that. But I just kept thinking about Boog, and I kept thinking about how she hated us when we cried. I remember one time Haley and I were in an argument, and I was in the wrong, and I was just crying. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so horrible. I'm the worst." And Boog just crawled up on me and said, "It's okay. We forgive you." And it was just that unconditional love that you can't really, describe. So, this is tough. It's tough, but we appreciate you, and obviously, we love her. We love our Boog, Bernadette Robin.
We're gonna get a tattoo.
You get a tattoo. We're gonna get Boog lived 14 years, so we're gonna get a little number 14. Tyron Matthews, first number. So Debbie, I wanted to bring this up. Debbie said she's trained dogs for Westminster.
I love that.
That's so cool, Debbie. And I think her photo is of the dog.
Well, if they would look at, I posted on the video about Bernie. I commented on there, and anyway, the avatar, my avatar has been, since I've had a Gmail account, It's a picture of Bernie. It doesn't even look like her because it was her puppy picture. She's about, I would say, probably 3-4 months old in that photo. And I, of course, can never change it. I would never change it.
So, all right. Here's what we'll do. Okay. Zach says he wants a Boog merch. We'll do that one day. So an update on the merch. We have our sample shirt that is currently being made.
I kind of want to show them the painting. I think that would be neat for them to see.
Want to see the painting? Yeah, go grab it. No. That's in the closet.
It's okay.
All right, you want to go get it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll show you the Boog painting. So an update on the merch. We have different merch ideas. We're working with different companies because this is obviously all new to me, the whole merchandise stuff. So we should have a sample because I don't want to sell a shirt and it just not be good. All right, I want y'all to see. This is our Boog painting. So she'll look at that. This was done by Haley's friend Ashton. Isn't that just great? Look at that. Iconic Boog.
I can't put it back out quite yet, but I know that they would like to see it.
Mason. That's cool, Debbie. Your dog's name is Mason. There you go. So, Haley was contemplating whether or not she wanted to come talk today.
But we're gonna have a service for her.
We're gonna have services and we'll post photos and all that stuff. So there you go. I know, and I always say this. I know you guys, the value proposition of this channel is LSU football channel. But we want you guys to know us personally as well. And, Boog was us. Boog was everything. But she didn't want to be everything. She was just always people first, other dogs first, you guys first. And Haley and I had the discussion. We did record a long emotional video and we were bawling.
Gross. And
I showed a 1/2-second clip. And that's not what Boog wanted. That is not what Boog wanted. It's not. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate it.
We miss her. We'll miss her every day.
No, Eric. Oh no, Eric, we appreciate it. Eric, Debbie, Kane. Is there a booger on your picture? I don't. Let's see.
On mine.
Yeah. On Haley's photo. On Haley's.
On my avatar.
On her avatar. So yeah, I know Josh was a big Boog fan. Obviously, Trey, Kane. That's good stuff. Well, I love you guys. I really do. I really do mean that. Honor Boog's wishes. Yeah.
Always.
She. I'm telling you, she hated when people cried. She always went up to whoever was crying and said, "It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." So yeah, at some point, okay, I don't know what happened. That was weird. Let's see. Okay, okay. At some point, we will make Boog merch if that's okay with Haley. We haven't talked about that yet. We had all these different merch ideas. So at some point we will honor Boog, and you could by also honoring Boog at the same time. Oh, thank you, Josh. You're family to us too. Booger number 7 for life, always. Aww. And that's great. That's great stuff. I'll buy Boog merch. I tell you, we always talked about it. Boog was the star. And she used to hate being on camera, but she got She's
always hated it.
Always.
Since she was a puppy, she would look away from iPhone camera. I mean, all of it. She hated it.
But once she started coming on here, after that, she would take better photos. It was so strange. So thank you. I think she felt your love. And you saw the video earlier. I made a few edits on the video. Paris, thank you for the super chat. RIP Boog. I appreciate you, Paris, and all the support you saw the video earlier, right? So it was overcast. And then by the end of the video, it was sunlight. And that was,
that was burning.
That was burning. And, I'm not the best person in the world to talk about metaphysical things. And I know you guys have your own, spiritual backgrounds, but man, our guardian angel. So here's what we'll do. We'll let you guys take this chat. We're an hour and a half into it. I'm happy to go all night if the super chats keep coming. I am happy to go all night.
We already got dinner.
We had
a very productive day.
So what Haley and I did today was we turned our phones off and we just started building.
I've had my phone off.
She's had her phone off.
I'm not talking. I can't do it yet.
And honestly, this is the first she's spoken publicly. She's told her closest inner circle what's happened.
That's it. I'm not posting about it. I'm not.
Zachary, that's funny. Get his shirt with
Paris.
Boog.
How dare you? Did you get my ahi tuna taco and my margarita?
Margarita. Paris is like a velvet taco stand.
Is he in Dallas?
She.
Paris, are you in Dallas?
She's in Atlanta.
Oh, they have one. Oh, that's right.
They went
that's
ATL.
Right.
Velvet taco.
Oh, Paris. I used to always get. I'd call it the swirl.
The swirl.
Remember, I'd always do that.
Ooh.
It does feel good to disconnect.
Oh, I thought you were saying our live stream disconnected.
No.
Okay. Yeah, what's funny, Trey, is this is what I do now. So I'm on obviously YouTube all the time, but I'm not on Facebook that much anymore. I'm not on Instagram that much anymore. I'm still on Twitter a lot because that's a big sports platform.
That's all I've looked at was Twitter, but like Instagram and Facebook, I deleted the apps. I just can't. I can't look at. I don't want to see dog pictures.
Cody. Cody. No, we're with you, man. And Cody, you've supported me from day one.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, I know.
This is the crappiest thing to go through.
So Cody actually changed his icon.
I see that.
To his little puppy. That's great, Cody.
Oh man,
Cody,
I am so sorry.
And Cody hadn't changed his icon in a while. You've been chatting with us for a while, Cody. So yeah,
but yeah, we've been doing. I've been really trying to keep busy and not really look around. I have all her stuff in the closet.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
So Cody, we're here for you as well, man.
Absolutely.
We trust me, we are.
We need each other to lean on each other.
We're and also and Haley did comment. She has been reading your comments on the other video as well. So we really do appreciate that.
Oh my God, you guys are the nicest.
So what we'll do is Boog would hate us dwelling all this time.
But the reason that I wanted to show the painting is because that is what I want to put on whatever t-shirt we decide to do for her.
Yeah.
Because that is the perfect depiction of
her. Of her. It is.
So that
Tony, thank you for the super chat, man. We appreciate you.
I think it would be really neat.
It would be neat. So what we'll do is we will do Boog shirts eventually. Okay. We're still, I actually tried to work with like the most popular t-shirt. Yeah. Dude, I had horrible customer service. So I went to a different one and I'm still waiting for the sample. So our first shirts will be sold pretty soon. Tremaine said, who disliked this? Tremaine, I get a lot of dislikes now.
Oh.
I lost my 16-year-old pit fueled by haters. Oh no, I'm so sorry. We're right there with you. We're right there with you. It's cruel. It's cruel. And I didn't understand it growing up. My first dog experience was Boog at 27 years of age. I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand why humans were so connected to dogs. Like growing up, I just wasn't around it. And
it's an unbreakable bond.
You just can't, you just can't, unless you have it, you just don't understand. Yeah. I feel by haters. I've had a lot.
You did it in Target yesterday.
Okay. So I do want to include this story. So we did film the Jacoby Matthews video in Target. But I wanted to include this final Boog story, and then we'll get back into LSU football. So we don't live in a big city. So Boog could only have certain types of treats. Sorry. Oh, man. I'm sorry, Tremaine. And Tremaine was with us before we had 100 subs.
Wow. God bless you.
So I want to really quickly. So whenever we would go out of town, Boog could only have a certain type of treats because her kidneys were failing. And there was a low-calorie treat that Boog loved, that our vet approved, that they sold only at Target. Okay, so when I was a comedian, I would go out of town and I would do shows in bigger cities. I would, sometimes be leaving my radio job and driving straight to the city, and I would race into the Target to go get the treats and then check out. Now you can get them obviously shipped. But, I was always like, okay, if I'm in the city and this is the only place I could get it. And yesterday was the first day I've obviously been in a Target. And that was when the Jacoby Matthews news broke around that time. And guess what? That Jacoby Matthews news, and Jacoby's watching this. I know Branson Cat is one of our viewers. He's close with Jacoby Matthews. Jacoby's watching this. You definitely boosted my spirits, Jacoby, because yesterday sucked. Yesterday really sucked. That's why we got out of town. So the thing is I started crying because, that would be oftentimes the only reason I would even go into to Target was to go just get booger treats. Yeah. And I was like, goodness gracious, I'm doing this just for a little furry puppy. So, yeah. So, Fueled by Haters, we are so sorry.
Oh my God, yes.
So, I'm glad some of y'all are getting we're getting some much needed therapy out of this.
Yeah.
So Haley told her best friend. I haven't told any of my friends. Not a single one of them. Okay. Y'all are the first people that I've shared this information with, other than people close to me that needed to know. So this is therapeutic for us.
They are our kids.
And they're our kids. Okay, let's go to V-Law. V-Law, a couple of you with your super chats have paid for a lot of boogers as it is. So V-Law, your super chats over the months have been really supportive. I lost my dog Bugsy, a little Boston Terrier, 2 years ago. It started with seizures and 3. Yeah, same thing. Same thing, V-Law. We went through the same thing. And ours was only a day after the seizure. So, syncope. And it's different.
What that is with her kidney disease, she wasn't producing enough red blood cells. And that would then cause the blood oxygen to get cut off to her brain.
Right.
And that's when the syncope kicked in. I've never seen anything like it. And her syncope kicked in. She just got done going to the bathroom. She fell out. I thought she was having a stroke. I didn't know. I had no clue. I'd never seen anything like it. And I was just sitting there with her. I'm screaming for Carter. He was in the backyard. And I'm like blowing in her face. I'm rubbing her because she's still there and her heart was still beating. She still had a pulse. And I was like, what is going on? So then she started to come to, but by then we'd already hauled butt down to the animal hospital, which isn't even our animal hospital, right down the road, thank God. So anyway, we got down there and they looked at her. And I had her in my arms. She was fairly limp. But we got home after that night. She ate a big dinner. She drank a bunch of water. She took her nighttime pills, and that was it. And then the next morning she woke up. Now, I don't know if she had a spell in the middle of the night. We'll never know. We'll never know. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I said, okay, well, I called the vet first thing when we got up, and I explained to the girl at the vet, I said, this is what happened. And she said, well, just bring her in. I'll just drop her off. So we dropped her off, and then he got a call from the vet explaining everything. And, that was,
it was time.
That was the call we had to make, because she'd had another syncope episode at the vet. And he said, that is what happens. And so every time they have one of those episodes, they lose their cognitive. What is it? Like
they lose oxygen in their brain,
right?
And then cognitive decline begins to set in.
And so I could not live with myself knowing that I was going to watch her not know who we were in her last moments. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I mean, we made the choice together. Not an easy one, but you could tell she was ready. She wasn't scared. She was just calm. She knew.
Right.
And I mean, I'm always going to question myself. I mean, I can't help it, but
Trey, we'll see you, man. Thank you so much. Say thank you to Trey. I mean,
Trey, you're awesome.
God, Trey, Trey, let's put it, Trey, your donations have paid quite a few bottles of Azadil. We'll put it at that. And that's, some of the medication Booger would take.
Yeah.
Now, so we'll share the full timeline. So Tuesday night happened, and I obviously started crying because it was a near-death experience. And Booger just snapped back into it, and she started walking in here.
She did.
And she wanted to check in on me.
She did.
Because she felt my energy.
She did.
And then the next thing you know, she's making her final appearance on the live stream.
Jack for Boog. Take one for me.
Take one for us too, Johnny.
Trey, thank you so much.
And Fueled by Haters, thank you for your super chat.
Yeah,
we appreciate
and thanks
that.
for telling us your stories. I think it helps us to know. I know, of course, other people have gone through this. I'm not ignorant to that. It just helps to know other people understand your struggle with it, because we don't have kids. She was our kid. She was my baby for 14, almost 15 years.
Go to Rye in
when
Canada.
I lost my Benji, it took me 7 years to find the strength to get another dog, but I didn't. I love her. Oh,
Benji. That's such a great dog name too, Benji. Rye up in Canada. He's our poutine guy.
Oh, nice.
Poutine. But Trey, thank you. And Trey was Trey's daughter was a big Boog fan. He was one of the ones.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Trey would super chat and be like, Trey would super chat and ask, "Hey, my daughter's here. Can I see Boog?" So I would be like, "Okay, let me go text Haley during the live stream." And just knowing that Boog made your kids' nights, that was just great. That was just so great. So let's go through a few more of your stories here. Fueled by Haters, my buddy passed in my arm right after an LSU baseball game just ended. Oh, I'm so sorry, Fueled by Haters. That's such a traumatic experience. Her dad, who was just over here, he had a very similar experience not too long ago as well. I hope it was okay. I shared that story. And it was a very personal thing for him. So I hate that. And, it is. And here's something else I wanted you to know. If Boog would have kept going,
it would have.
Her cognitive decline would have clicked in.
I couldn't handle it.
And Boog would have just been nothing. You would be able to tell. So we, it was her time. Yeah, we're with you, Fueled by Haters.
Tyler, my precious retriever, took her last sleep in my arms, and I had to make the decision at 18 years old when it's time. I know. Oh, Tyler, wow, you were 18. Oh, I know. Miss Debbie said, "Don't question yourself. Your dog tells you."
Oh, that's oh my God, Debbie. We've been going back and forth, and this is something you do as well. You start blaming yourself. You're like, if I could have done this, or if I could have done that. Haley's been doing that nonstop. So Debbie, your comment there really, really means a lot there.
Well, could you think that?
Zach, I appreciate that. Zach says he wants you to do a film study.
On what?
The football team.
Oh, no.
I did see what Haley says. Kane's more of a fish guy. There we go.
Nice.
There you go, Kane.
Like goldfish?
Yeah.
Oh.
So V-Law, Rye, Fueled by Haters. It's good to know, and Cody, it's good to know that I've known you guys for a good little bit. And I say no, through the live chat. I didn't know these stories. And Rye's in Canada, and you guys are all over the country and the world. So it's good that we all.
Us.
It really did. We didn't expect that. We didn't know that would.
No, I never stick around this long.
Yeah, we didn't know that this would help our personal grieving, and it didn't make any sense at first, like why I was crying so hard. But then I was like, God, I just love Boog. I really did. Gulf Coast to Mississippi here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
We're in the Gulf Coast. Fueled by Haters. I think he's one of our newer viewers. Tony, what's going on? Right. So, Zach, here's what I'll do. The film study is already recorded. I still got to edit it tomorrow. So I'll get Haley to break down one of our film study plays coming up. Actually, I have a good idea for a play for Haley to break down. Okay,
I'm not doing that. I will look like the
someone super chatted. We got to. I mean.
Oh my God. Okay.
One of your roommates killed your last fish?
No.
Oh my God, Kane? Really?
Why?
What is
Heartless.
That is horrible. Oh my God, Kane. How could you be so heartless?
That's so mean.
I know, it's horrible.
Was it an exotic fish?
What kind of fish was it, Kane? Incompetence, not malice.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
That doesn't make it any better.
No,
does it?
No.
No. Debbie is talking just like Haley, and I love it. Crossing the rainbow bridge. That's exactly what Haley said. Oh my God. Debbie, you're kind of like our spirit animal. Especially Haley's, because there was a while where Debbie didn't show up in a few live chats, and Haley, I promise you, asked, "How's Miss Debbie doing? How's she doing?" So Debbie, thank you. Especially, Debbie, when you're in Westminster shows, like you have to know everything about dogs. LSU chunk play against Arkansas for A to break down. That would be interesting. I'll figure out something for her. To break down for you guys in a film study. I don't know when, but we'll do it at some point.
Oh.
All right, let's go to Durrell. And Durrell, you said something really nice to us earlier. Our Lily stroke caused her to not recognize us. She walked in right circles and looked at us. Why are we not doing the right thing? We thought we would not get another dog. Then we met Paco. Oh, Durrell, that's great. And that actually does give us some closure in a lot of ways because Haley and I were talking about that. Like, God, we would have liked to have Booger for one more day. Once I talked to the vet, and the vet was a personal friend of mine. He's an LSU graduate, and he and I grew up not in Louisiana. And so we had a bond being LSU fans in an area that is not full of LSU fans. So, once he became my vet, we had a deep bond, and he called me and said, "Carter, what do you want to do?" And I said, well, obviously Haley is going to have the final say, and then we'll make a decision as a Booger family. And I was like, God, I was crying on the phone to him. I said, can we just get one more night? And he was like, no. He said, it's time. And Durrell, the reason why that gives us closure is because we did not want Booger to go through what Lily went through, Durrell. And Durrell, the fact that you shared that story, I know you're probably a little emotional talking about it. We did not want Boog to happen. That would have crushed me. I would not have been able to do that. I would not have been able to do Boog not being herself.
Mm-mm.
And, her body really began to decline once the kidney disease. But it really happened. Past 2 months got so bad.
Yeah.
And
she got so thin.
But she was still cognitively there.
Yeah.
And we did not. We couldn't. And I mean, we could not have Boog be herself. So, the timing of it did make it a little bit easier because, if this happened a month later and, because when Boog passed, we could tell that she was ready to transition, and we knew that she was still Booger in that final moment. So, Durrell, thank you so much. Obviously that that obviously makes Haley feel a lot better.
Yeah.
With that comment, Daryl. Oh, I know, V-Lon. I hope you guys are feeling a release as well. Paco watches our live stream. Boog was the only media dog he doesn't bark at. That's interesting. Oh. That means a lot. That's good. Boog, Boog just has a magnetic feel to her. Pear says I had fish growing up. I would forget to feed them and they would die and my mom would replace them. I didn't even know. Debbie here. All of my dogs are show champions or multi. That's cool.
What kind of dogs? Is it just a certain breed?
Yeah.
I mean, Carter told me this earlier and
I'm interested.
I love watching the dog shows.
Let's go to PC, whose dog has been your avatar for quite some time. Shortly before my father passed, his favorite dog would come to say hi in dreams. It was that's deep. It was comforting to him. He felt like she was waiting for him. Oh, that's so. Oh, that's deep. Oh man, that's great. And I'm glad your dad had that experience.
Yeah,
and he had that.
That's special.
That's really special. And for you to share that, PC Jen Big D, for you to share that was really personal. And
yes,
thank you for being vulnerable with us. That's great. It helps to get another. So we've talked about that. And at some point, it probably will happen. We talked
about it.
Haley's mom has been, she's had a lot of dogs.
My mom was more concerned. She was concerned about me, but she was really concerned about him.
Guys, I'm glad you didn't see me.
And my mom actually, she came in there with us. I didn't know she was coming, but she came in there and she's never been able to go with my dad when he'd have to put like our family pets down. But she came in there and that was really important and special that she did that because she's never had the courage to do it for her dogs. But Bernie was her grand dog,
Yeah, she was really close to Bernie. And so Haley's mom is obviously going to help us as we transition to a new dog. I don't know when that will be. Obviously, our new dog will be a part of this channel. However,
I can never get one that looks like her ever. No.
Boog is Boog.
No.
So she's always going to be the head honcho of this channel. Let's see. Boog would have been a good rodent hunting dog.
No, not at all.
She was so calm. Like she couldn't her
energy was unlike any dog I had ever had. And I've had tons. But no.
Let's go. Debbie says Vizsla
Hungarian Pointer.
That's so
nice.
Cool. I'm going to go look at a dog at a rescue in Covington next month. That's cool.
Louisiana?
Yeah, Covington, Louisiana. Yeah.
Oh.
Get a German Shepherd.
I've had a German Shepherd.
I know very little about dogs.
But we don't want a big dog.
Yeah, I don't. My best friend Jake has a bigger dog, and I love her. She's sweet. She doesn't bark like Boog, but
Boog never barked.
That was the thing about Boog. She never barked. She barked a few times at inopportune times.
She did bark the last week we were at the house.
When another dog came after me that was staying.
And that was the last time she barked.
That was the last time she barked. There was another that was a smaller dog that ran towards me, that ran out of someone else's house. We didn't know the dog. The dog was staying at a friend's house. And it got out the back when Boog and I were going for a walk, and Boog started barking at her to protect me from this small dog running.
What was Bernie going to do?
What was Bernie?
One, she didn't have a lot of teeth left.
I mean, she had what, like two?
No, she had more than that. She had like her up there and stuff. Anyway, she just thought she was being rough and tough. God love her. She wanted to get one more good one out.
Let's go to Daryl. Another personal story here from Daryl. I wasn't a dog guy until quadruple bypass. My son got me a boxer Aruba as an exercise dog.
Oh, wow.
Dang, Daryl, you've had some great dog stories tonight. Daryl, your stories have been incredible.
Oh, wow. Glad you're not closed off to another dog. Boog may lead you to your next dog metaphysically, of course.
Oh, that's great. Josh had a deep connection with Boog. Josh had a really deep connection with Boog. Josh would super chat a lot just to see Boog. And then Josh would leave our live stream and then come back later in our long live streams.
Gosh.
And then Josh would say, "Oh, did I miss Boog? Did I miss Boog? Did I miss Boog?" And then I'd have to text Haley, "Okay, let's go get Boog out of bed."
That's what he would do. He would text me and ask me if I was upstairs or cooking. He'd say, "Okay, everybody's ready to see Bernie." And then I would hate to wake her up, but I did it.
Kyler was a rescue that turned his life around. He was a pit that someone used as a bait dog in New Orleans. Wow. When Katrina came, they left him for dead. He survived. Wow. And you adopt. Dang, that's great.
My God.
Y'all have such great dog stories. This is amazing. This has been a really fun live chat.
I hope y'all don't mind me.
No, this has really been therapeutic.
What about my story?
Oh, well, share your story again, Josh. Let me see. I know you shared it earlier. We're going to share it. You have to agree. Yeah, for sure. Because, the thing is, I feel as if we got another dog right now, I would just be comparing that dog to Boog. And that's unfair to the new dog.
Yes.
Because Boog set such a high standard for me.
You have to understand, Carter came in on like the tail end of Bernie's life. He didn't get to train a dog. He didn't, get to see the puppy phase and the stages and the peeing on the floor, tearing your I censored myself. He never saw that, but Bernie never did that. I'm telling you, honestly, she was meant for me as I was meant for her. And she was just the best.
That's cool, Zachary. A watchdog. My cousin go camping.
All the stories about my baby girl.
She was
about baby girl. I read about baby girl.
Okay, from earlier.
Chihuahua, half dachshund. We gotten cousin of it.
Oh, that's a good story,
I love
Josh.
dachshunds.
Thanks,
I
Josh.
love them. I even think I would like to have a long-haired dachshund.
Let's go, Cody. I appreciate that. Cody, your dog's a little cutie. I like that. Dog chat. This is good. This is really good.
It's really helping us.
We'll do this every year because obviously we're going to do this forever, hopefully, and we'll do this every year in honor of Boog the dog.
4/21/21.
Our baby girl, she's the best. Show champion and a field champion. Dang, Debbie. I like that.
I would love to come watch her train dogs.
That would be cool.
We swore after Paco found us.
Paco. That's such a great dog.
I love that.
Paco.
That is the coolest dog name.
Paco is just a great dog name. Let's see, Cody. Let's go. Cody, your dog stories have been so good tonight.
Wait for the right dog. We tell adopters that come to the rescue that you are not ready to adopt for at least 3 months. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Eric, my next dog will be a mini Austin.
Baby girl was a nice half chihuahua, half dachshund, but yeah, she passed away from heartworms a few years ago. Oh Josh.
Right. Okay. Haley doesn't know the Rai story.
What?
So he did a drinking game the other day with LSU Football, and people
you told me that.
And Rai got crazy. Rai. Hank Hill and Lady Bird. How about that? Yeah, they had a bond. Man, King of the Hill, most underrated show. It really was. Eric Gilbert. I love it.
We will get a dog. We don't know when, but I drink every night, Zach, especially this week. I'm drinking my White Claw in my Sonic cup.
Why do you say White Claw when you know it's Vizzy?
Well, it's Vizzy. I don't drink White Claw.
You got to show Vizzy, and I know you're a White Claw fan as well, babe, but you got to show
No,
Vizzy.
I don't even have you get it for me anymore.
But if that's the only seltzer you can drink, you'll drink it.
Look, Bugsy would always roll in the mud at the dog park, then go jump on a random people. Is hilarious. He was a little. I love that.
Roger, where have you been? Roger super chatted before the chat began, and remember what I told you about Roger? He got a job at Trotter.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh, you could have met Boog.
And Roger's getting an early Doucette card. Okay. Now, Roger, I don't know if the early Doucette card is going to be better than your Matt Moscona hat. But it's a pretty sweet card. It really is. So
what did Zach say? Y'all got to get this black cherry Jack Daniels. I don't drink dark liquor.
Okay. So I haven't had whiskey in years. Black cherry Crown Royal is great.
See, okay, right here, King Charles Cavaliers. I've heard that.
They have great personalities.
And they're beautiful dogs.
They really are?
Yes.
That's great. And propane accessories. Huh?
Actually, my friend Monica, they used to breed them.
No, Rai. No one has. And I actually was going to do like a thing for it. But guess what?
Brown does not go down, Kane. Mm-mm.
Okay, so Kane, I'm never going to share who actually said that to me. Okay, I'm never going to. I don't think I could ever share.
Avita Amber fan probably brewed in Avita Springs, Louisiana. I just like my Vizzy.
Abita, yeah. I used to be big Abita strawberry.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. All right. It will cost a little more to ship to Canada. But guess what? Rai, you're the winner of the Thaddeus Moss card. Congratulations, Rai.
It won't be that bad.
It is a little bit different to ship to Canada.
What?
But I'm happy to do it for Rai.
What did Eric say? He's what? Got what?
I currently have a gold Moraner and Chorkey.
I swear I'm getting my roots done.
There you go.
A Chorkey? What's a Chorkey?
There you go. We'll go ahead and send it. I was going to do a whole thing leading up, but we're well over 4,000. Well, not well over 4,000 now. And let's do this as well. So, Rai, send me an email address, and I'll take send me an email, and I will have it set up for you. And guess what, everyone? I'm in a giving mood. This was very therapeutic. I will send Johnny McCrane. You're going to get a card as well. I'll find you a really good LSU card. I'm going to send it to you, Johnny. So I know, Johnny, you did want the card. So guess what? I'm going to send you.
Miss Debbie said, be careful on the King Charles Spaniel. Oh, okay. I just want a clone of Bernie.
Well, no one could clone. I mean, it's run a little short dog. So, Johnny, send me an email, and I'll link up with you, and then I'll figure out what we're gonna do with that. And Roger, I still have your early Doucette card. We will meet up soon, Roger. For real.
When do you start? Have you started? That's great.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into his personal
All
stuff.
he can say is yes or no.
I can say yes or no.
Come on.
I know, but I get kind of heebie-jeebie because I don't want to. Let's see. Man, I like Matt Scone and T-Bob, but one of the best is Josh Pate with the Late Kick Show. I don't know a whole lot about Josh. Is that the one on? That is the one on 247. Yeah, Josh is good. But then again, I do watch other content creators, but ironically, when I sign off a Power Hour LSU, I actually take my mind off LSU football for a little bit of time and I actually watch stuff on sports cards. So I was on the live stream the other day with Andy Kaysen, our good friend Andy, and he is the host of the Fantasy Football Card Quest, and I did a 2-hour live stream breaking down what you need to know about LSU cards and getting into the hobby. because I made a lot of mistakes and I shared the mistakes that I made. And the funny thing is everyone that watches card content actually knows a lot about cards. So I went on with Andy as someone who didn't know as much, obviously, as he does. So if you go to his channel, it's fantasy. I'll link it down below after the stream. If you go watch it, you'll hear me talk about sports cards. So ironically, when I'm not talking about college football, I'm talking about I watch sports card content because a lot. Because it's my favorite thing. I really do love sports cards.
I know.
And then the next favorite thing in my life is food. And then the next thing after that is Schitt's Creek. So
throw that in there.
Throw it in there. I'm a big Schitt's Creek fan.
That's what we should do.
Yeah, 247.
Rewatch it.
Oh, yeah, Fueled by Haters, of course.
Yes. Okay. I want to ask Miss Debbie a question because I value what she says.
Well, Debbie's our dog expert.
Right.
So before we even
gotta pay the premium.
But before we even knew Debbie, she would always ask about Boog.
Mm-hmm.
And now we know Debbie knows obviously more about dogs than basically everyone. This is really cool, Debbie. So go ahead.
So small dog breeds, right?
Small dogs.
Temperamental wise, trainability wise, what dog breed would you suggest? Health wise, hey, they should do number one. What does that mean? I should number one.
Thank you for all tonight. I too have lost dogs in the past, one less. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. There you go. That's like, see, I never got into Game of Thrones. So
I do want to know what Miss Debbie thinks, though.
Okay, so Debbie,
small breed dogs.
So Debbie, we need your expert opinion here. Small breed dogs, and maybe some of you have some insight.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Small,
because I don't know.
We want something kind of like Booger. Obviously, we can't replace.
I can't have a dog that I don't want anything with Pekingese in it or Shih Tzu. Get that out of your head. Neither one of those.
No Pekingese, no Shih Tzu, no temperamental issues. Doesn't bark a whole lot. Not too high maintenance. That's what we're looking for. Jesse, what's good, man? Jesse's always positive energy. Also, Jesse was our first ever sports card winner. He won a Leonard Fournette card.
Jack Russell Terrier. Are they cute?
What is a Jack Russell Terrier? Pull it up.
Nothing's ever going to be as cute as my baby. Oh, did you see?
There you go, Roger. DJ Bucci said pit bull.
I heard Superstore's good.
Superstore, the show?
Uh-huh.
Office.
I don't want a dog that's going to shed. Bernie did not shed.
Booger. So, in other words, we want an angel. Oh, that's not bad. Russell Terrier. I like the color.
Him's cute.
That's cute little puppies. Oh, look at that. Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't look anything like an angel dog.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be a fresh start. Jack Russells are hyper.
Oh.
Boog was just so mellow. She was just so calm.
I'm not getting a golden poodle doodle. No. Yorkshire Terrier.
Roger, I'll come out there at some point.
I don't want a high energy dog. I want a low chip.
Get a Yorkshire Terrier. What is a Yorkshire Terrier? Let's do this. You guys are helping us.
I feel like I'm cheating on her.
No, you're not cheating on her. Oh,
that's a tartar. No way.
Yeah, we can't have a tartar.
No,
we can't have a tartar.
What'd y'all say? Half Chihuahua.
Superstore. Oh, Creek Dweller. So I want everyone to welcome Creek Dweller to the channel. He actually, every time we do a premiere, Creek Dweller, you provide so much good insight. Creek Dweller. And now you're part of the dog chat. So welcome, Creek Dweller, to the channel. I know you're newer, but I appreciate your insight. For real. You brought up that Josh Booty reference in a live chat soon. Gavin O. Yes. Coach O with the 5 stars. I love it. A Yorkshire is the most beautiful dog.
Well, that's great. But Tartar has really scarred the Yorkshire name for me.
I don't know.
Because she hates me.
So I don't know because
gotta love Tartar. God, she's so bad.
Tartar's bad.
But I did, however, ask my mom when they came over here. I said, "Why didn't y'all bring Tartar?" But Tartar does not like leaving my parents' house.
Britt.
Oh no.
What's up, Britt? Let's see. Coach O going crazy. So I hope Coach O gets one of these out-of-state 5 stars. I have a Yorkshire. Don't get them. They just park and pee everywhere. Okay. Huh? On to the next. Gavin O just joined the chat. La Rougarou, you were right about Dwight McGlothern. That dude bawled the freak out. If you look at a video of one, there's so... Oh, is that the long-haired dash round? Oh.
You don't love it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Isn't that the dog Alex has?
That's Henry.
Henry? Yeah.
Henry
no Yorkies, high maintenance. Okay,
no.
So I'm sorry to say this, but Debbie's opinion is number 1 here. She knows more about dogs than I know about anything. My son has wieners, good personality. What about wiener dogs?
Well, that's what a dash hound is, my love.
Oh, that, okay, that, all right. Okay. Let's see. I love Dwight myself. I'm a huge Dwight McGlothern fan as well. It's going to be interesting to see how.
Okay, Josh, let me Google it, babe.
Hold on. If LSU starts him, or if they try to, it's going to be interesting because do you want to keep Derek Stingley at one corner and Eli at the other? That might be it. What kind of dog is that?
This is Josh's recommendation.
Half Dachshund and half.
Can I show him what I found?
Yeah. Is that it right there? Oh, that's such a precious dog. I like that one. Teacup Chihuahua.
Oh, no.
Kind of like the.
Oh, my God in heaven.
No, that one's fresh.
See, this is what I was talking about. Is it a Chiweenie?
Chiweenie? No, they are nervous wrecks.
Why?
Josh would not lead us astray.
But look at this baby.
Josh, of course, you have a pet hamster. What's up, Ken? It's been a while, Ken.
Does he know Booger's past?
Yeah, I think we shared in the title. Any news on AG? No, I don't have any Eric Gilbert updates. Chiweenie? I kind of like the Chiweenie. Chihuahua is a one-man dog. They will bite too. Okay. No bites. Not.
It's only.
Oh, corgis. What a.
Oh my God. I want a corgi so bad.
Okay. We're doing corgi then. Well, Google the corgi photo just so I can see it real quick.
I've always wanted a corgi.
Alex, I appreciate you. Alex, you've been, I know I'd say this about a lot of you, but Alex, you've been there for me. I appreciate that. Any news on Kim Mulkey? Okay, so obviously, I keep it LSU football, LSU women's basketball. Obviously, this would be, a gigantic story if Kim Mulkey came to LSU. Oh, I like the corgi. It might be corgi. It doesn't look like Boog at all.
No. Look at that. That's the Queen's dog.
Yeah, I'm
Her Majesty.
Okay, so Paco is a Chiweenie, but he has a wiener personality. So, Fueled by Haters, I'll answer this really quickly about the Kim Mulkey news. So, it's crazy that in less than a month, Kim Mulkey will be introduced to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Corgi shed.
By Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is inducting Kim Mulkey into the Basketball Hall of Fame. So, getting Kim Mulkey to LSU will be huge. In fact, if Kim Mulkey came to LSU, that would be, even bigger than anything LSU men's basketball related. It would be a seismic thing. We're talking about one of the 5 or 10 best women's coaches of all time. The only connection really, with Mulkey to LSU, obviously she has Louisiana ties because she played at Louisiana Tech and her son played baseball at LSU. But this is kind of like the Dabo Swinney thing, okay? I don't think Dabo would ever leave Clemson because he is Clemson football. He is the reason why Clemson got to the level it is now. Not even Nick Saban could say that. There were great coaches at Alabama before Nick Saban.
Ciao, ciao.
Kim Mulkey is Baylor women's basketball. She is the only thing. She is the reason why Baylor's women's basketball is what it is now. It's her program. So it's going to be hard for me to envision a scenario where Kim Mulkey would leave Baylor. But obviously, money talks. And obviously, LSU can have an unlimited pocketbook. So, it's obviously something buzzworthy. It's obviously something a lot of LSU fans are talking about now, partially because, there is no LSU football news to talk about. There is no other LSU basketball news other than Nikki Fargas officially being let go or moving on to her WNBA role, and obviously Kim Mulkey. So that's, the last, I'll talk about that because I do not cover women's basketball. Matt Ellentuck is a good follow on that. Lindsey Gibbs is another good women's basketball writer. So yeah, I can't speak too deeply on Kim Mulkey other than I know Brittany Griner played at Baylor. So that's my extent of women's basketball Baylor knowledge, other than they got screwed against UConn in the final seconds of that game. So no chow chows and no Dalmatians. Okay, that's from Debbie.
I just love chow chows.
And Kane, she did say that at the thing. Check out Iggy's. What are Iggy's?
Italian Greyhounds.
Italian Greyhounds? Okay.
Right here.
No, too big. All right, Daryl. Daryl with your super chats. There you go. What about a beagle?
Oh, that's what Bo is, but they bark. They whoo.
We have 2 Italian Greyhounds and they're low maintenance. All right, so Daryl, whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. Let's go to La Rougarou with an LSU question. As Haley still Googles our next potential dog. This is kind of fun. We should
still with us though.
We should have all these people, because here's the thing is you guys are giving us objective opinions, whereas our friends and family, they kind of know us, and you guys know us as well, but I'm enjoying hearing all these different opinions.
Yeah.
Whenever we ask our family and our friends, it's all people that are from Arkansas. I like hearing from Debbie in Texas, Rai in Canada, and all you. So
I've had terriers and I don't like them.
So let's go to La Rougarou, the super chat. And while I answer La Rougarou super chat, you guys keep listing dogs as Haley Googles different dogs.
Oh, but them's cute.
Let me see. Oh. Are you keeping up with them? Are you keeping up with all these?
Yes.
These are all great suggestions. Haley's just going to be researching tonight. Heck, we might get a dog tonight. No, we won't. So La Rougarou, let's go. We already talked Dwight McGlothern here. I want to bring back Jacoby Matthews because a lot of you are rejoining the chat. Obviously, it's huge. It's so huge, and the kid's really good. I can easily see him playing a hybrid linebacker role or a strong safety role or a free safety role, or potentially, he plays offense for Ponchatoula as well. It's just such a massive recruit, a 5-star player at a position that is only going to become more in demand. So what makes that so interesting, La Rougarou, is I think LSU, with all the defensive backs they have 4 defensive backs now committed for the class of 2022. And something else to keep in mind, and I don't know if Nick is still in here, but he brought up Kamari Wilson earlier. LSU can have a better safety class this year than they had the year before. And on top of that, you're going to need more guys to cover guys in space than less. So that's obviously pretty huge as well. So, Larugaru, you're so on point about Jacoby Matthews. It's so huge. It brightened my day. That's how big of a deal it was to me because I think he's special. I really do. So I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. You know what, Roger? That wouldn't be bad either, going to the dog pound and just seeing what you like. That would be actually pretty interesting. Baby, look at this. Ken says, check out the Mommy Shibu Ina. What an Inu. You know what that is? I'm interested.
Go back.
Let's see.
Oh. Are these like...
It's an Alaskan dog. Larugaru just knows a little bit about everything.
Look.
Oh, that's a good dog. That's a good doggo. That kind of looks like the dog on Dogecoin. Is that what? Yeah, that is what that is, right?
But how big do they get?
We don't want a dog that gets big.
I don't. I need a baby mama.
No, Ken, and hopefully he doesn't. The more quarterbacks, the better.
But they got a tail.
Tail. Yeah, Amacat. That's crazy. Here's the thing about
looking.
All right, Creek Dweller. If your name really is Creek Dweller, your username, that means you obviously
send it, Josh.
You obviously hunt. So, you know, he knows a lot about dog training and whatnot. Here's the thing about a dog. The more time you give your pet, the better the dog.
Japan.
The dog behaves. You get what you put in, just like anything else. I'm retired, so I spend all day with our Yorkshire. That's good, Roger.
I knew they were from Japan. I knew they were. You know how I knew that?
How?
Because in Harry Styles, when he went to
Japan, don't get into Harry Styles.
When he was in Japan, that's all the dogs that were around him.
For what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I knew they were from Japan.
San Antonio, Texas. La Rugaroo. Let's go. And thank you for your super chat. We appreciate that.
They are so stinking cute, though. They are smart. Roughly 10 to 14 pounds. What's their behavior like? But they're freaking cute. Aren't they sweet, Bubba?
They are pretty nice. Oh.
And see, he'll get the experience of getting to train a puppy.
I know. I'm kind of excited.
He's never had that.
I never had that. So, Creek Dweller, if you have any tips, share them.
We want everything. This has been so good to
just chill.
Yeah. Josh is going to send you a picture of his pup.
Oh, good.
I want to see it. I told him to send it.
Hybrid safety. Tony! Huh? Wearing your shirt tonight, Tony.
Nice.
I haven't cried in it yet, so this is a good shirt, Tony.
Josh said he's emailing it to you, baby.
Cool. Thank you. Tony, I know you. Tony, I actually know you're a pretty big Christian, so we need your prayers more than anything.
You get any? No,
she's already coming with the name. So here's what we'll do. We won't share the name until we actually get the dog. So she's already come up. Haley's already coming with the name, and anything dog related, Haley's going to call the shots. You bought him a fajita platter? Thank you, Tony. We appreciate you, man. Really.
Listen, I love nothing more than giving Bernie food when she could eat human food.
Oh, yeah.
Which our next dog will not have human food. Not.
I know, Zach. It drives me nuts. There's no player, and if I were to rank the players that I get mischaracterized the most about, it's Eric Gilbert number 2. But everyone talks about Eric Gilbert, but number 1, and Zach, I'm glad you pointed that out, and you've seen it, Zach. I've been called a TJ lover and a TJ hater, and the bottom line is this: play the best player. Okay. Play the best player. Okay. TJ started the most games last season. So why do people want a guy that has 5-game experience as a starter to transfer? Now, I'm not clamoring him to be the starter. He is my number 3 guy right now. But my point is, it's good to have someone that could step in and potentially win you a game in an emergency situation at by far the most important position in this sport. So, when people say, oh, well, TJ's definitely going to transfer, you don't want him to transfer. Okay, you don't, because there's not many people that, have 5 games of quarterbacking experience, especially at LSU. Let's go to Log Guru. Please give your analysis on how the season would go. Can we defeat Alabama? That's all that matters. I believe them and Florida are the only threats. So, while you guys continue to give Haley dog recommendations that she Googles them.
Who is this?
Let's see. Who? Looks like you need a running partner, not a lap dog. Oh, you're calling me Chunky, Emma Cat? No, I'm kidding. Here, Lyra Guru, here's the best way I can answer this question. I think the most important thing to do whenever you're trying to project a season is to not so much project a game-by-game scenario.
Sorry, I was yawning.
Okay, you want to project how a season actually plays itself out, okay? I look so chunky there.
No, you don't.
I look chunky.
Baby, you don't.
My belly's just sitting right here. I have a belly.
You do not look chunky.
Belly full of.
Y'all know I don't eat bread. I don't eat any of that crap. But I'll tell them what we have for snack later. Nothing bundt cakes.
Oh, we're having bundt cakes.
I got a lemon is my favorite anything, and I got a lemon one, so I'm going to take like 2 bites of it. We need it. He got red velvet basic.
I think it. Okay. Do I have IG? Yeah, I do. It's I never post on there, and I don't post on. And full disclosure, I don't post on the Power Hour LSU Instagram, but my messages are open on both of them, so that's also a way you can message me there. So anyway, to answer Lagarugaru Super Chat, the most important thing to keep in mind is games aren't a week-by-week thing. They are a week-by-week thing, but they also aren't a week-by-week thing. Games happen in certain order that could hurt your team. So, like, for instance, La Rugaru points out that the Alabama game is the toughest game on the schedule, which it is. Alabama's number 1 in FPI, and Alabama's returning all this talent. They're also losing all this talent, but Nick Saban, Bryce Young, whatever. But my response to that is, well, for Alabama, at least we get a week of rest before we play Alabama. Now, Alabama has a bye week before they play us. That has been the case every year since 2009. The famous Patrick Peterson interception game. LSU didn't have a bye week the week before. Alabama did. So every year, LSU and Alabama have a bye week. The games that I am more concerned about.
This is where I dip out.
All right.
You guys.
Everyone say about a hey.
I'll be back. I just don't care about
this. So this is where it gets interesting, La Rugaru, is that it's actually harder to see LSU going 2-0 against Florida and Ole Miss than it is for them to beat Alabama, which in theory is actually better. It's better for LSU to lose to Florida or Ole Miss than it would be to lose to Alabama. So to me, the most important thing is to look at where the games actually fall. And Alabama, you get a bye week, and then you play them in week 9 or 10. I don't remember off the top of my head. Ole Miss and Florida, with a first-year defensive coordinator, you're playing against the two best offensive play callers in back-to-back weeks in the SEC, one of which is returning their offensive superstar quarterback in Matt Corral. So that's something to keep in mind. The way I look at the schedule now, and obviously a lot's going to change from now until then. Injuries can change. Transfers now can change. How we actually see the team in week 1 versus UCLA will change our opinions. But the way I look at the schedule is it is so hard. It's not like the 2019 schedule where, LSU, as great as they were, it wouldn't have mattered when they played whoever. They would have won every game. But 2019 LSU did have a few scheduled breaks that broke their way. So the SEC East team that they played was Vanderbilt in Florida, where this year they play a better team in Kentucky instead of Vanderbilt. And then, you go back to 2019, Arkansas was horrible. Now Arkansas is good. Ole Miss was coached by Matt Luke. Now Ole Miss is obviously got a lot of positive momentum with Lane Kiffin. And then you go back to Mississippi State. Joe Moorhead was okay. Obviously, Mike Leach is 1-0 against us. So it's important to remember that, we did a video on FPI and SP Plus, La Rougarou. I don't know if you saw this a little bit earlier, La Rougarou. We did a video earlier this week, and this was important. SP Plus and FPI, all these advanced metrics, do not like LSU as much as we think that they would like LSU. FPI has LSU rated 18th in the country. SP Plus has LSU ranked 26th in the country going into next season. So, all those things considered, I see LSU, if we get to 10-3 next season, that's a really good season. That's a really good season. Because
Alex and Alex are going to swing by.
Are they coming right now?
They're finishing grocery shopping.
Yeah, tell them to come by. Yeah, it's interesting. Because we have a bigger place, Haley has more friends over, and that's great. Reed, what's up? I know a lot of people have been mentioning Willie Allen's name. Can he play? That's what I'm concerned about. I haven't watched him at Louisiana Tech. So, music 2019. The schedule was brutal in 2019. All right, it was really tough with the Texas on the road. That's not what I was saying. My point is that the schedule's even harder this season. UCLA is going to be good. UCLA returns a lot of talent. UCLA is very experienced. UCLA will be their best under Chip Kelly, or it's now or never for Chip Kelly, in other words. So, Reed, you say, no, that is a bad season. 10-3 is a bad season? Really? Is it, though? I mean, I don't know. Obviously at LSU, we have a championship standard, right? But we also have to be real, okay? This schedule is really hard. It's really hard. Amacat, I think it's going to be a tough game. I do. Chip Kelly's one of these great play callers. He's not the same, innovative wizard that we initially thought at Oregon. And LSU beat Chip Kelly down. If you go back to 2011, obviously a lot's changed since then, but still. Let's see. You guys want to talk Auburn? Okay, I'm down. Okay. Kane makes a good point. Auburn's guys have a great track record, right? Well, okay, so Brian Harsin comes from Boise State. So Boise State wasn't as good as their predecessor, Chris Peterson, right? So Brian Harsin comes over. So how good is Brian Harsin? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. What I would say, though, about Brian Harsin is that is he decent? Maybe. I hated their coordinator hires. I hated both of them. I think both of their coordinator hires were the worst in the SEC this season. Now, Kane brings up a good point. Well, our guys have no experience. I would rather have guys coming in tabula rasa, clean slate with no experience than retreads who were not good at their last jobs. Mike Bobo was a decent offensive coordinator at South Carolina. And last season, I know he was the head coach, not the defensive coordinator, but Derek Mason, Vanderbilt was the only other SEC team that gave up 7 yards per play defensively. And Derek Mason was the head coach. Now, he wasn't the DC. Derek Mason hasn't been a defensive coordinator in 2013. So I know this sounds stupid, and it's going to come off as biased LSU fan, but I would prefer a guy who's never been a defensive coordinator before in Durante Jones over Derek Mason, whose defense was so bad last season. And it wasn't as if they were just bad last season. They were bad the year before. And that's with a safety who's in the transfer portal who's coveted by everybody. Exactly, Creek Dweller. This is the bottom line, okay? Gus Malzahn was really good. And I know that that's not the sexy thing to do. And I know it's not. The sexy thing to do is just trash Gus Malzahn because he was, 33-31 in the SEC before this past season. And obviously, this past season was awful. Gus Malzahn made a horrible offensive coordinator hire in Chad Morris. By far the worst coordinator hire I think I've ever seen was hiring the guy who was the worst head coach we've ever seen in Chad Morris. Not even Derek Mason is as bad as Chad Morris was. And Derek Mason didn't even win a game last season. Look, Gus Malzahn made a horrible coordinator hire. So what? Gus Malzahn beat Alabama multiple times, okay? That is your arch rival who happens to be on the greatest run in the history of college football. You beat them multiple times. Well, that game was with Mac Jones. Oh, the same Mac Jones who's going to be a first-round pick? That win was fluky. Yeah, that last win versus Alabama was very fluky, but he won. How many people could say that they've beaten Alabama multiple times in the last, decade? Well, we can't even say that. Gus Malzahn was a really good coach. Look, people mistake his SEC record for the same thing that I preach on this channel. The thing, if you were to ask me, what is the one thing I'm most passionate about in all of sports, okay? And I've shared this before. I'm passionate about sports cards. I'm passionate about jersey numbers. I'm passionate about a lot of things in sports. But one of the things that I think about all the time, and I think about this in the NBA, I think about this in the UFC, I think about this in the NHL, and the NFL, and all leagues. When I became a fan of the English Premier League, the soccer, and just soccer overseas and whatever, I became fascinated with how different their sports are structured. So once I became fascinated with that, it made me rethink American sports structure and the SEC. And the simple truth with Gus Frederick Malzahn, that's not his middle name, I was just blabbering. But the truth is, when you take the job at Auburn, which has a rich history with Bo Jackson and Cam Newton, arguably the two best SEC football players of all time, not named Joe Burrow, my opinion. But still, Auburn has this rich football history. But Auburn every season has to play Alabama. And that's their arch rival. But that's not enough. Every season, Alabama's cross-division rival is the second best recruiter in the SEC in Georgia. Georgia. That's who Alabama has to play, or Auburn has to play every single season, right? Well, Alabama doesn't have to play Georgia every season. They get to play Tennessee. Arkansas doesn't have to play Georgia every season. They get to play Missouri. Texas A&M doesn't have to play Georgia every season. They get to play South Carolina. So every season at Auburn, you're already at a major disadvantage because you have to play the team in the SEC East that has been consistently really, really good over the past decade. So many people at Auburn and so many people in college football would say, oh, well, go look at Jimbo Fisher's record and the direction Texas A&M's going, and then compare it to Gus Malzahn. But they never seem to include that every season Auburn is at a significant disadvantage. And by the way, LSU football fans, you're at the same disadvantage as well, having to play Florida every season. So no, Gus Malzahn was a great freaking coach. He was a great coach that got him to a national championship game with Nick freaking Marshall as their quarterback. And he was the offensive coordinator of all these great teams. Gus Malzahn brought the Wildcat. Gus Malzahn was a savant. He was an outside-the-box thinker at a school that, let's be honest, Auburn is a top 20 recruiter, but they're not up there with the LSUs, the Georgias, the Ohio States, and Alabamas. They're just not. Gus Malzahn was really good. And Auburn fired a guy that they shouldn't have fired. Exactly. And, I shared this video a few weeks ago on this very thing. Exactly, Roger. I don't get it. I don't get the Auburn thing. I don't know if, because here's the thing, the bottom line. Stop misusing the term retread. I mean, think about what you know about Nick Marshall now. They went to a national championship with that, and they probably should have won that game against Florida State with Kelvin Benjamin and freaking Jameis Winston. Really? Durante Jones will be better than Marcus Freeman. That's tough. Freeman's special. He's going to do really good things. As much as I like Durante and his philosophy on things, Marcus Freeman is really good. And I would be lying to you to say that it was, a big deal that LSU missed out on him. But, obviously, with Marcus Freeman, you would have to pay him more. And Marcus Freeman wants to be a head coach, like now. So, and also, if Marcus Freeman really wanted to be at LSU, he would have been there. Okay. And I understand it was a family decision, and he's from the Midwest, and his wife played a big decision, and Notre Dame recalled them, and then, went to Notre Dame. Auburn equals cheaters. Hate those guys. Well, here's the thing, Amacat, and I say this all the time as a diehard LSU football fan. I don't want this channel to become morality battle, okay? Because at LSU, we can't really, claim morals. Now, here's the thing. I have a friend, his name's Vernon. He does a really good Auburn channel. He could obviously knows way more about this than I do, but that's an outsider's perspective of Auburn. They're a great program with some of the most iconic players in the history of the sport. Auburn's had some amazing players. So yeah, I don't want to be morality. La Rougarou with another super chat. I see it. Do you follow the metrics and actually see in the report how they go to play? In 2012, we were number 1 in the coaches poll. Number 3, 10-3 lost to Clemson. And so, okay. La Rougarou, I'm glad you brought that up. The Clemson loss. Huh? Oh, man, that was a bad one. When you go back and you're like, okay, Taj Boyd was a lot better than we probably think he was. He was really good. And Sammy Watkins was on that team. Was that that was Sammy Watkins and DeAndre Hopkins, right? So 2013 was really the downturn of the Les Miles regime. And that was when I was told that, meetings with coaches became very messy and it was very lackadaisical. And now what we know about Les Miles is that dude walked around like an untouchable dude. And the bottom line is Les Miles never wanted to innovate. And it set us back. And, you got to give Ed Orgeron credit for that. Is that Ed Orgeron has rethunk a lot of things, and it saved him. It saved our program, honestly. So, yeah. I'm glad you point that out, though, La Rougarou. We were so highly rated in 2013 because, in 2011, we had that crazy run. And then in 2012, we, had a bad season. And then 2013, we returned so many guys. And then, Taj Boyd. What did I say? Taj Boyd. That's right, Creek. Miles was a good recruiter, but a horrible coach. Yeah, that's pretty true. But how much of that was Les Miles, and how much of that was Frank Wilson? It's one of those things. And look, I really do believe this to be true. Like Ed Orgeron's obviously, one of the greatest recruiters of all time, but LSU is always, to a certain extent, going to recruit itself. You're the only big state school with a ridiculous amount of history, with a lot of positive momentum, with an amazing national brand in a state that produces the third most NFL players per capita in the country. That is as big of an advantage as anyone has in college football. So when, that's the thing. It's crazy to think about, but 3 different coaches in this state since 2003 have won national championships, which is just wild. It's so wild to really think about. Miles Brennan, let's go. Was it Taj Boyd? No, we lost to Taj Boyd in our game versus Clemson, right? That's so true, Creek. That's so true. Oh, Roger. Yeah, that game, Aaron Murray versus Zach Mettenberger, and Zach Mettenberger going up against his former team. One thing you need to look at, and I know some of you are like, you're like me. You like defensive line play. Go look in 2013 how bad the LSU defensive line's technique was. And, it's funny when you go back to 2013, that defensive line had Daniil Hunter on it, who is probably, when he's healthy, a top 5 or at worst, top 10 defensive end in the NFL. He's really good. But Daniil Hunter had 1.5 sacks his final season at LSU. Daniil Hunter. So go back. All right. LSU versus Georgia. If you want a funny video to watch after this, go watch Daniil Hunter's pass rush move versus Georgia on the game-winning Aaron Murray touchdown. It is the worst executed spin move I've ever seen, to the point where it was coaching malpractice how they were coaching Daniil Hunter to play defensive end. And I was like, God, we are playing with horrible technique across the board. But we had Jeremy Hill, Zach Mettenberger, Odell, and Jarvis, so it didn't really matter. And we had a good offensive line that season. Exactly. And, it's crazy. This has been a wild live stream, man. Dog chat. That was so much fun. Johnny. Okay. Okay. This is where it gets tough. All right. Because I got to make content decisions. So, there will not, and I'm glad you brought this up, Johnny. There will not be a live chat next Saturday night. All right. And I've shared this story before. I've turned down quite a few stand-up comedy gigs because I do this. This is my favorite place to be on a Saturday night, is live chatting with you and, Haley and Boog making her appearance. But, obviously, rest in peace, Boog. But next Saturday, I had a gig I could not turn down. And I have to go do it. So, and I'm excited to go do it for people going to that gig. And I want them to watch this and be like, oh, he rather be. No, when I get booked to do something, I go 110%. So next Saturday night, I will not be doing a live chat, but would you guys like an NFL draft live stream? Let me know. Would you rather an NFL draft live stream on Thursday instead of next Saturday? And then we go Tuesday, Thursday this week. Exactly, Johnny. And let's see. Music, live stream your comedy show. So, okay. Number one, the gig that I'm doing is not fully comedy. It kind of is. I'm hosting something, but so you guys want to do a Thursday night. So you want to do an NFL draft live stream. All right. So we'll do that. I'll get with Haley. She obviously, is going to have the final say when I change up the schedule, because we're obviously moving and going through a lot right now. So if Haley says yes, I'm sure she will. We will do a live stream Thursday night for the draft. Okay. Okay. And it's going to be different. So if you say yes, you better be there. Now, say a joke. No, TBVN. That's not how it works. All right, La Rougarou, we will see you Tuesday night. Thank you for all your super chats. Everyone say bye to La Rougarou. Everyone say bye to La Rougarou. All right, music. Here's the thing about live streaming comedy shows. All right. Some people do it. Some people live stream their sets. I've done it before. But the thing about it is you're doing a disservice to the people that are actually at the event. That actually showed up. And, I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about doing it. It just depends when I go back. I haven't been on stage in forever. DJ Bucci, what's good? Thursday's fine. So music, that's it. It's kind of weird, it's kind of weird explaining, how the comedy business works unless you've actually done stand up. But that's kind of it. It's like when you watch a stand up special, it's shot a different way and edited a different way to make it better for you to consume. But if you watch a stand-up special, it is nothing like the actual live experience. It's actually pretty different. The cadence of the jokes, how you feel in the moment, how the audience reacts to it. If something happens in the audience, you're present. I've had a lot of weird things happen on stage. No, Zach, I do not officiate weddings. Do you have one coming up? I'll do yours, Zach. Yeah, music. I so when you watch stand up on YouTube, more often than not, the sets are like edited. And some people just post a raw stand up clip. And I have a lot of respect for people like that. A good channel to watch is Chocolate Sundays. I love their stand ups. And some of those guys are actually my friends that are on there. And they're really good. Tricks, Henry Coleman on Chocolate Sundays is really good. You should get a cruise gig. Cruise gigs pay well, but they're rough. They're absolutely rough on you. They're rough on comedians for a lot of reasons. It's weird to book cruises with your touring schedule. But I've never gotten to the level where I was a touring headliner. And overall, I'm not really that great at stand-up comedy. I also want that to be known. I'm better at this than I am stand-up. But yeah, it's crazy. It's so hard. I've done it now for 4+ years and I'm still not great at it. A lot of people don't get good until 7 years in, and then 10 years is when you're actually hitting your prime. Let me see, Josh. I haven't checked email in a while. Let's see this. It's a good dog, Josh. That's good. There you go. Tell us a joke, sir. PJ, I'm curious. Why do you hate Target? I'm actually really curious about that. You want a bad joke? 3 years ago, Zach, you've been married 3 years? That's great. I know, PJ. Oh, so you don't hate Target at all. Okay, I thought there was a reason behind it. I know a lot of people don't like Target. You know what's interesting about Jacoby Matthews is this is a screenshot from one of my buddies, Richard, and they said he was thinking about going to Arizona State, which would have been fascinating. And that would actually be pretty good for LSU if a lot of elite recruits, elite recruits go to Arizona State, because I just don't think Arizona State is ever going to get to the point where they're a national power. Because I don't know, because, man, I don't know. Because I like what Herm is building there. But I'd rather elite recruits, if they don't go to LSU, go to Arizona State or go to Maryland or go to a school that's like kind of good, but someone you'll never play in the playoff. Jenna. Tarjay. I'm going to say a dirty joke. A horse fell into the... See, music, I like Target too. I do. That's why I was worried about PJ. I was wondering if he I was wondering if Tony accidentally wore a red shirt and some khakis and said and got harassed. Let's see. I'm reading some Jacoby Matthews. Oh, this is interesting. Let's see. It was interesting. Carl Above died. That was what's called a comics comic. So the term a comics comic is a comedian that's not famous, but all the comedians know he's funnier than famous comedians. And Carl Above was one of those guys. Brian Regan's one of those guys. Tony Woods is one of those guys. Even though Tony Woods' name is out there a little bit more because he's Dave Chappelle's guy. This is great. I want to show you all this. One of my buddy's moms in Homa. Where are y'all watching from, by the way? Do we have anyone from Homa? This lady's an angel to me. Her name's Kathy, Miss Kathy. I don't know if she's watching our live stream right now. This is her watching my video from Target the other day. You see me right there. Shout out to you, Miss Kathy. I appreciate you supporting the channel. I love it. Kathy. She always prays for me and always watches our stuff. And her son's one of my best friends. Yeah, if not my bestest best friend. My favorite was Rodney Dangerfield. That's right. Old school comic right there. Set up punchline. Get no respect. It's funny. The Dangerfields Club just shut down in New York City. Watch it from Lafayette. Yeah, Kane, it's like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Okay? Because here's the thing, and I really do mean this. Most famous rappers, their famous rapper is someone you don't know. Okay? Like the best lyricists are, come on. The best lyricists aren't famous. Okay? Okay? You could say you like Drake or 2 Chainz or whoever, but do you like Q-Tip? Do you like Mickey Fax? So, it's different. And a comic is very similar. They're funnier. They're just really good. And, when they die, there's not like the pomp and circumstance of when a legend dies. But everyone knows when a comic dies, a bona fide killer on stage is leaving this earth. One of my friends, I say friends, opened for him one time. His name is Eric Myers. Died earlier this season. And Eric Myers was a murderer. My favorite rapper is Saran Wrap. Leonard and Hammond, what's up, baby? That's a good one, Creek. Yeah, Rodney was just so good. So good. Corey Holcomb is so good, Tony. You know what's funny? My buddy Nate opened the first Black-owned comedy club in Arkansas. And Nate actually got Corey Holcomb to do his club, and I didn't get to go see him. I love Corey. Corey's that guy that is not afraid to dig himself in a hole. Corey Holcomb will start a line that makes everybody uncomfortable. And I'm not going to do his material. He has some great stuff. And I am not good enough to dig myself out of a hole like Corey Holcomb is. He's good. Corey's so good. He's so unique. He's so special. But yeah, you know, he's kind of a comics comic. You know, he's not like a big name guy, but the dude can just flat out murder. Yeah, Corey's just a murderer. And I think part of the reason why Corey won't ever just be like super famous is because he is too raw. You could be a little too authentic. It's not. His comedy is a certain type of comedy that, you know, is not like, that's not going to get you like really famous. The guy next to you had salmon. You had filet mignon night. Oh, Leonard, I like that, man. I mean, do you switch it up? Not a choice between Max or TJ. Let's see. Daryl says Lenny Bruce wrong. Okay, so Lenny Bruce is a different story, right? Lenny Bruce, man, comedy wouldn't be what it is now without Lenny Bruce. But, you know, yeah, Lenny Bruce was raw, like thrown in jail raw. That dude was great. And if you get into comedy, you got to know who Lenny Bruce is. That's great. Yeah, Lenny was the first. He was the first edgy comedian. Now, of course, he wasn't the first like brave comedian. There's Mobs Mabley and a lot of different people, but Lenny Bruce was the first boundary pusher. And then, you know, the Red Foxes and the Carlins and the Pryors came after him. But yeah, Lenny, you know, just doing shows and knowing the cops were outside ready to arrest you because they didn't like what you said, that was a big moment in American freedom of speech. Yeah. Oh.
Front pocket?
Yeah, it should be front. Is the battery low on it?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because that charger can't hold. It should be the blue cord. But yeah, you know, Lenny, if you're one of these big cancel culture type of people, I hate when people scream cancel culture. It's a real thing. Lenny Bruce actually had real cancel culture. That term is just thrown around way too much nowadays. Lenny Bruce, go read his stories. It's wild. It doesn't make sense. Really? I did not know that, Kane. Yeah, George Carlin was wrong, but real. Yeah, Carlin's up there. He's one of my favorites. I know it's cliche. I know this is kind of risky to say. I wasn't as big of a Pryor fan as everyone else. He wasn't my absolute favorite in that era. But yeah, I mean, let's see. In the kind of vintage era, I wasn't a huge Sam Kinison guy. Even though Carl Above was like close to Kinison. Yeah, you see, Daryl, it's amazing how those terms are used. So it's crazy. You know, you hear that term all the time, cancel culture. Really? Are you really getting canceled? Lenny Bruce was legit being canceled. Okay. That's, I mean, that's actually what was happening to him. So, you know, that's why I hate the term, because it cheapens it. Okay. That some people are legit victims of cancel culture. Okay. And, you know, it's such a political term now where I'm like, really? Are you really being canceled? No. More often than not, the answer is no. Yeah, Eddie's up there. But you know, we had a long Eddie Murphy discussion a few weeks ago. The thing about Eddie Murphy, I dropped that. The thing about Eddie Murphy was that he did something no other comedian really could say, is that he peaked. You know, Raw and Delirious were just such next level specials. You know, and he did those so early in his life, and he became one of the best SNL characters so early in his life. Comedians aren't supposed to peak when he peaked, and his peak may never be reached again. You know, his peak was so ridiculous, and that's why his career was just so freaking amazing, was that his career was kind of like a Benjamin Button career. Now, he ended up, you know, being in a lot of movies and making a lot of money after Raw and Delirious. I'm not saying he didn't have success after that. It's just when you release your best specials so early in your life, it's kind of like, where else can I go? Because, you know, Chris Rock took a full decade off before he released Tambourine a few years back, because Bring the Pain just took comedy to a next level. You know, Chris Rock in his HBO prime was just, you know, so next level, to the point, you know, a comedian's great when they hit a level where you don't even like reciting their jokes out loud. That's what makes Chris Rock so great. That's what, you know, makes some of these guys so great. And honestly, you know, if I'm being honest about my personal comedy career, it would take me really hitting the stages hard for me to get to even being remotely considered great at this craft. And honestly, my true opinion of stand-ups, there's only a certain percentage that are actually working today that are actually like untouchably good. And some of them you've heard of and some of you don't, never heard of. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney was really good. Obviously, you know, he pushed boundaries as well. I'm watching the spring game and the live stream at the same time. That's great. Silence can be funny too. Dice Clay, yeah. I mean, Dice hit a weird level. Dice probably had a real. Dice's career was very strange. If you're losing your job, you're being canceled. Yeah, true. I know what you're saying. Music, that's a different kind of cancel culture, when people pull up a tweet from like 20 years back and say, look at you. Oh, I hate that so much. I really do. They tried to do that to Kev, and I mean, come on, he's Kevin freaking Hart. Yeah, Dice was, yeah, Amacat, that's true. Dice was more of a caricature of himself. Pensacola, is this LSU talk? Open a channel called Failed Comic. Pensacola, you tough person buying a keyboard. My favorite water brand? I'm drinking Great Value right now. Didn't they try to cancel Josh Allen before I don't even know. But the thing is he not going to get drafted? Josh Allen was always going to be a first-round pick. Bottled tap water? Yeah, probably. But I'm drinking it. It's whatever. It's what we had available. Need a water sponsor. Yeah, TPVN, that's so stupid. I hate it when people do that. In high school. TJ seemed hurt in the spring game, but his potential just pops. Yeah, his arm is special, but we spent so much time in the last live stream about TJ. If you're going to start, okay, you cannot commit turnovers. Vincent, what's good? Vincent Delaney, I like that name. Oh, yeah. Oh, Zach, that's crazy. Get sponsored by Nike. But I think Nike has more than enough people. Which was funny. I know I've referenced this podcast a few times.
Alex is here. Are you going to come say hi?
Tell him to come in here.
Are you about to be done?
Yeah, tell him to come say hi in here.
Well, Alex didn't want to go get on this.
She don't have to come on this. Are they both coming?
Yeah. You need to say hi to them. Here they come.
Tell them to walk in. Tell them to come back here and come hang out. We got more people coming over. We need to get Chick-fil-A to sponsor Power Hour LSU. If that was the case, we couldn't do our film study tomorrow. That's my comedy. Ha ha ha. Jawan, you're just now checking in. How many years has it been for LSU to play in Pat? Creek Dweller. I'm actually not that far from Shreveport. And Creek, I actually do need you to email me because I need your help with something. Shoot me an email, Creek Dweller. I actually am gonna need your help with something. And it actually could be some extra money coming into the channel because you are from Shreveport. And I know JJ is like the president of the PHL Shreveport fan club, but Creek Dweller, you're up there. We have quite a view. Brah. We have quite a few viewers from Shreveport. Yeah, I'm a cat. This is the turnovers, man. And look, even outside of the turnovers, TJ is a good quarterback who's not quite ready yet to be a starter at the SEC level. But the turnovers is a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable thing. Yeah, Josh. Her best friend just walked in the door, and her best friend's boyfriend. I've not met yet. This is big. This is like big because she's like one of my good friends too. Y'all want more people on the channel? We can get more people on here. Oh, Josh, they don't need my help. T-Bob and Jacob Hester, they do a great show. I listen to the Coach O every week. Well, I don't listen because I don't get up early enough. I watch your YouTube. I watch the Coach O interview every week. It's really good. Let's see. Y'all want to keep hanging out? I don't mind hanging out. We haven't had a super chat in a while. I'm also kind of hungry because my po' boy's been, I hate it when po' boys are put in styrofoam and they're in there too long and they get a little moist and damp and your fries get soggy. Yeah, Vincent. Kane knows more about it. Vince, I know you're just joining us. I don't know if you saw, we had a tragedy this week. So I've been in and out. Normally I keep up with everything college football related. But, this week I've only kept up with the big stories because, we're dealing with a lot. But I would like Mickey Joseph to get the Southern job. And I know it's weird. Why would you want Mickey Joseph, who's been a historically good LSU wide receivers coach, to go to Southern? Because every coach deserves a head coaching opportunity such as Southern. HBCU football is on the rise. And I think Mickey would be a good fit there. I do. Yeah, I know, Vincent. Yeah, I was just, pointing that out. So, yeah, I don't know too much. And I was pointing that out because I don't know too much about the rumors. Is there actually something to it? So tell them to come say hi. But there's people that are bashful. They don't have to go on the camera, babe. I want to put them on the camera. Po' boys should never be put in anything but wrapping paper. You had the same flashlight from the Heart Association. Let's see. Shining a light on heart health. That's great. I'd be a cool autograph right there. There's a comedian. I've never met him, but we have a lot of mutual friends. There's a comedian named Darren Carter who actually does like a something like that. So, let's see. Thursday night will be our next live stream for the NFL draft. Best po' boy spot. What is that? What is a po' boy? I don't know. I don't live in an area that actually makes great po' boys. There's one place that makes good po' boys, but it's not like seafood po' boys. I just get a grilled chicken po' boy. Kane, that is true. That's so weird though. That Drake TPVN stop that blasphemy. Even though I do like Subway a lot. I had a Subway sub for the first time in a while. And I was like, guys, I kind of get why I used to eat Subway every day. Texas ain't good for po' boys. It's great for barbecue, though. Po' Boy Express is good. I've not had them. Then again, music. I think you live in Baton Rouge, music. I've not been in BR in over a year, and I get a little depressed thinking about it. Johnny. Okay, Johnny sent us a Venmo. Cool. Creek, I'll shoot you an email. I might be doing some stuff in Shreveport soon. I'm not so sure. So I'm going to need your help with that, for real. Because it's kind of hard to keep up where everyone's from. Sammy's and Zachary's. Shout out to the Chris Hilton fans watching us in Zachary. I love Chris Hilton. I really do. I think his dad, the story, how his dad won the 200 meter and Chris Hilton won the 200 meter, and there was iconic photos of both of them. That's such a great photo. There you go, Clark. Well, I appreciate you, man. Let's see. Johnny, what would you like to talk about? And we'll wrap this up so I can hang out with our company. Are you going to Jackson Square tomorrow? Where are you driving from, TPVN? And why are you going to Jackson Square? Lafayette? Oh, that's a 2-hour drive to Jackson Square. What are you going there for? I know, Josh, you're in Slidell. Got the Dirty Dell. Let's go. So, Johnny, what would you like to talk about? And you paid for your shipping for your card with that super chat. Meeting up with some cousins. There you go. It sounds like a good time. Where y'all going to go? And why Jackson Square to meet up? Y'all, whenever you meet up with friends in New Orleans, the first stop is always Harrah's. It's always Harrah's. You go to Harrah's, you put $1,000 on black, and if you hit, that's your party money for the night. If you don't hit, then don't gamble anymore. Kidding. If you or someone else has an issue with gambling, call a gambling hotline. I didn't want to get demonetized there. Okay, so next year starting O-line. You did ask that a little bit earlier. Tony, I'll see ya. This is kind of a new thing. I like it. Tony, I'll see you, man. Zachary, I'll see you. So I'll answer this really quickly for Johnny, and I will get you out of here. Guys, this has been a fun live chat. Really therapeutic. I thought I was going to bawl my eyes out, but you guys sharing your dog stories helped Haley. It helped me. And I really do appreciate that. Thank you. So the starting offensive line next season, I do think, Johnny, they're going to make the Anthony Bradford change. I do. So I think Austin Deculus at right tackle, Anthony Bradford at right guard, Liam Shanahan at center, at Ingram at left guard, and at left tackle, Dare Rosenthal, who had a really good spring game. Now, I would be interested in an offensive line where Austin Deculus is the right guard and Cam Wire is the right tackle. I think that would be a very interesting group. So there you go. That would be my preferred starting offensive line. But then again, I am not Mark Hudson and I am not James Craig. So there you go. So, Johnny, let me know if that answered your question. Once again, Dare Rosenthal, left tackle, left guard, Ed Ingram, Liam Shanahan at center, right guard, Anthony Bradford, and Cam Wire at right tackle. Carter, show.
Alex wants to come in here and say hi.
I heard you on LSU, Death Valley.
Death Valley.
Let's do this, baby.
Yeah, y'all want to say hi to this? Y'all want to say hi? This is my first time meeting this guy. I want to say hi.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is my best friend's boyfriend.
Live TV, Death Valley. LSU.
Oh, man. It got interesting. So just don't curse. Don't curse and demonetize my channel.
Okay,
Person on there.
gotcha.
I've heard a lot of good things about this guy. He drives how long?
About 9 hours.
He drives 9 hours
600 miles
to see Haley's best friend. And hey, I know Haley's best friend well. She's a beautiful lady. I understand. I get it. But that's great. Everyone said, "What's up, Howie?" Creek says hi. Creek in Shreveport. Joshua on Slidell. What's good?
All right, Carter.
Emma Cat. Hey, look, that might be changing soon, Emma Cat. Might be changing soon.
No, you're on YouTube live.
Garrett Dellinger is one of the best tackles.
It's not TV.
Well, he's not ready to play in year one. So, all right, guys. I got a po' boy to go eat. Johnny, you super chatted. Howie, you can't come to the live chat. So, everyone say hi to Alex and bye to Alex. Thanks, Alex. This live chat had everything. It's 3.5 hours long. Yeah, Emma Cat, I'm telling you. So, really quickly, long drive, I don't know. Cam Robinson was ready. Okay. Cam Robinson was special. And Gary Dellinger's really good, but I doubt he is Cam Robinson good. I hope he is. But Cam was pretty freaking good. He was the number one offensive tackle ever. No, Lyle Collins was higher rated than Cam Robinson. They're about the same. So, yeah. I'm still waiting on Johnny. Yeah, Trey, of course. I'm the president of the Miles Brennan fan club. So, yeah. All right, guys. I'm about to go destroy this po' boy. Johnny, let me know if I answered your question. I don't like to leave with the super chat not fully answered because I'm here for you. I'm here for you. What about the 22? Oh, God, Johnny, that's tough. Okay, 22 starting offensive line. So Deculus out, Ed Ingram out, Liam out. So right guard, let's go Cam Wire, center, Charles Turner. Left guard, Marlon Martinez. Right tackle, that's just so tough. I will go Dellinger left tackle, Or Dellinger, right? I don't know. That's tough. I would guess Charles Turner would be the starter at center. And then Cam Wire will be the starter at right guard or right tackle. I would guess right tackle. So Charles Turner at center, right tackle, right guard. Let's go Anthony Bradford because we'll have another year. So Charles Turner, Anthony Bradford, and Cam Wire, right tackle. So then we go to the left side of the offensive line, and then that'll be Marlon Martinez or Cardell. And then left tackle would be – that's tough. Hopefully Dale Rosenthal comes back for another year. He'll have another year of eligibility, I think. So there we go. It is. Johnny, I hope I answered your question. Next thing you know, Johnny's going to be like, 2023 offensive line and 2024 offensive line. What is it? 2032 offensive? Trey. Yeah, we're still going. As long as they were better than last year. Exactly. All right, guys. It's Po' Boy time. Let's go. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. You know what's funny? In the title of this video was QB Room, and we really didn't talk about the quarterbacks, but that'll be on Tuesday. Don't forget, Tuesday, Thursday live chat for this next week. Let's go. Woo!